I mean, who even knows who's coming out tonight to watch this shit? I don't know. Friends, welcome. This is probably the most tired I have ever decided to hit the start streaming button with. So that's where we're at right now. I am, of course, the person who is named Arthur Perkins. This is the place occasionally known as APGamingREAL. Some have said, people who watch this show have, within the last week, have said, I am their favorite GM. Sure, it was only 2 or 3 people, but I would say that's 2 or 3 times more people than I hear on a monthly basis, but 2 or 3 times 0 is still 0. That's right, I'm going for that bottom of the barrel humor right now. Absolutely. Look, here is the deal. There's no skipping around, there's no skip intros. This whole session tonight is intros. Everyone is going to catch up because we literally have not spoken to each other, with the exception of me, Pondo, and Cotton. None of us have spoken to each other since the end of season 3. And there was some heavy emotional shit. And there was, at first, there was some kickback from the audience. And then there were a lot of people that were like, actually, I just liked it. We're going to sit down, we're going to talk about that. But let me fill you in on the future. Tonight, we're going to talk about playing Pathfinder for the next 2 weeks. After that, we will have a unstreamed but recorded cast meeting about Season 4. Patreon at any level will get to view the recording of that meeting. We're going to talk about what characters we're going to play, because you might be surprised as to what characters some people have said that they're going to play. You might be surprised. I might be surprised. Who knows who might change their mind in the next 3 weeks. We're going to talk about guests. We're going to talk about the future of the show. We're going to talk about Season 4. And we're going to plan our first mission together. In Season 4...
Another thing people ask a lot about are mechs. Well, we will talk about mechs.
I mean, look, Rad, if there's one thing I know, it's that if I put you and Pondo in a room together and I leave a copy of a TRO around, you will not shut up for hours. You guys will just be like, lumberjack, look, I know this thing hasn't been seen for like 300 years, but can we field this, Arthur? Can I get a supercharger in this thing? With a light XL fusion engine? Something, and I'll just be like, sure, Rad, as long as you don't use fractional accounting. And he's like, machine gun out of the head then. Okay, I understand. I don't know how making mechs works. So everything I just said, assume that was wrong.
Except for the fractional accounting bit.
All I wanted was a mech with a chainsaw.
Here's how I made mechs. I put the Omnipods on the mech. That's it. I used the Battletech video games to make mechs.
Hey, the MechWare video games had a very simple but elegant way of balancing.
Well, it depends on which one there was. In MechWarrior 2, because they were all Omni-Mechs, you could do whatever the hell you wanted. In Mercenaries, it was a lot harder. And in 3, they made a distinction between whether it was an Omni-Mech or whether it was a regular Inner Mech.
Mm-hmm. Was there a 4, or do I just remember 3?
No, there was 4, and there was 4 Vengeance.
4 was my favorite. There was
4 was 4. Everything was modular.
And then 4 Mercenaries.
4 was where you had like hard points, right? And you could only put...
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, but you could get clan mechs that had Omnipods, so you could put it whatever you wanted.
You had laser, ballistic,
right.
missile, or Omni.
It was peculiar that they did that, but they made clan stuff so accessible in that game from what I saw or seen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's like you could stick with mechs that have hard points, or you could just say screw it and go with a clan mech.
Well, it's also, they used it as it was a pretty simple but elegant way of being a limiter on mechs too, because you had a large laser takes up 3 concurrent laser slots, so you either had to have a 3 or a 4 Omni or lasers bin to be able to put a large laser into and stuff. So it allowed for a bunch of customization and different options even with the non-Omni mechs, but it gave you some limitations due to the amount of space taken up and stuff like that.
Look, here's Eric Vulgaris showing up in chat literally seconds before I was about to say nice things about him. Now I feel weird saying it.
Yeah, now you have to say mean things.
Well,
That's the way
no.
it works.
I was gonna say Eric Vulgaris, who you might remember was, I think, our first guest.
Maybe, yeah. First
It was
ever.
either him or James.
No, it
not
was him.
not
No,
other
Eric
James.
was definitely before James.
No, other James.
Yes, right.
yeah.
British
No,
James.
Eric was first. Eric was for sure first.
Yeah,
Eric
was
first. Eric first. Eric was our first guest. He will be returning in season 4 as a guest character.
There was
My understanding is that he is working with Pondo and maybe even Rad to design his character. So we'll see more about that in the
Hopefully
future.
Pondo won't decapitate his.
He's going to be an allied mech pilot this time. He's joining you guys. Also, Gleemo and Grimdark James have confirmed that they will be returning as guests in season well.
Nice.
Is James going to be a bad guy again?
I mean, I feel like maybe we just
Just stick with allies for now.
look. Let me put it this way. Tonight is a jam session, okay? Freestyle jazz. I am not your conductor tonight. I'm your bass player. All right? What James does in the future will be another jam session, in which case he will be, the guy that shows up snapping, reciting poetry in the middle of it, like any villainous person does in the middle of a jam session. Look, I don't know about you, but if you've ever been to a freestyle jazz thing and someone just shows up and starts freestyle reciting poetry, you're like, that guy's an asshole. Right there.
Not to sway his opinion, but I like him more when he's not trying to kill us.
I mean, that's fair.
Look, let me tell you all something. All right? This is my final thing I'm going to do for my personal intro. But this week, we were talking about the nature of how some of us spend like 10 to 12 hours a week together. Because we're on cast on so many different shows. And Cotton was like, I consider you a close friend, Arthur. I went back and looked at the camera. I was like, deer in the headlights. What do I say to that? How do I respond to that? Human
Just
emotion?
Accept it. You just accept it.
I don't have an answer.
Not a difficult thing to do.
I can't.
I don't have an answer, okay?
I can't accept positive emotions.
It's not in my wheelhouse, all right?
It does not compute.
Yeah, exactly.
He's an otaku. Doesn't mean otakus accept friendship. They just believe in the powers of it.
I feel like I've really gone beyond otaku. Some have called me a prince.
Oh.
I'm the kind of person that in the middle of winter, I'll just gather a bunch of blankets, pillows, and just spend like 12 hours sleeping on the floor. Like any adult would,
Of course.
Yeah.
The only time I could sleep for 12 hours is if I've been up for 36 or more.
I don't know what to say to that. Lately, I've
I
been
know
up
what
for
to say.
36 or more
Do good.
hours. So much lately. I can't even comprehend this.
Apparently, I need to up my napping
Yeah.
game. So
Those are rookie numbers. You got to pump those numbers.
Yeah, exactly. Look, you have to learn to sleep while standing up. That's what the U.S. military teaches you.
Yeah.
Sleep with every second of your entire life.
Totes.
You
And
never
if
know
ever
when
just
you'll need it.
Standing in formation and you're really tired, just lock your knees. You'll pass right out. Get a free nap. And nobody will get mad at you.
Don't lock your knees. That's
That's so true. And
Someone will probably catch you, or you'll have a broken nose and get out of even more stuff and be able to take more naps. I mean, it's win-win, really.
this is all found logic here.
Tune in next week for more how to be in the military tips from Ratosaurus.
people have been missing those, by the way. They feel like they haven't been getting enough of them,
I don't know why.
Well,
It's terrible advice.
it's like spinach, right? You don't want to eat it. You don't want to hear it, but you do like hearing about how other people have eaten. And you're like, oh, that's really great that you've been, taking care of yourself.
You know what I gotta say is no one has actually ever contacted me with a legitimate military question. Right? Like apparently there's no one who watches this show that's interested in joining the military and wants to know things.
No, I feel like it's the other way around. Everybody I know that appreciates your stories are all like, yeah, I retired.
Yeah, they were.
I got
yeah,
the fuck out and I never looked back.
Yeah,
I asked you a legitimate question once, kind of. Asked you what your rank was.
Yes.
Kinda
So
counts.
yeah, people have contacted me and asked me questions about my military experience, but not because they wanted to know more about the military, just because they wanted to know more about me, right?
Well, it was kind of because Level Sin was trying to figure out some ranking stuff.
And I had messages from them that I didn't catch for a long time, and so I felt bad. I didn't respond because it had been so long. It had been such a delay, but
That's
apparently they're out where I will potentially be transferring units to. So I'll be bouncing around the same neighborhood whenever I'm doing army stuff.
She's peppy.
I believe it. Maybe I'll get to meet her.
She's interesting.
Oh,
She threatened to kill Pondo more than once.
I like her already.
She's
We can
complimented
definitely be friends.
No, she's complimented me, then immediately threatened me, and then go back to complimenting me.
Who?
Yeah.
Star-Lord, man,
Cotton's friends that
legendary
showed
outlaw.
up in chat one day.
She's literally my best friend. I've known her
Your
since I was
best friend.
2.
Okay, cool.
You're not just saying that because she watches the show, are you?
Nope, we grew up together, so she's like family.
All right. Speaking of starting introductions, let's talk about the best thing to come out of Texas since Tex-Mex, Ratosaurus.
It's true. I mean, it's not, but I'm say it is.
That's
yeah,
why I
I've
said
had-
it for you.
You did, and I appreciate that. I've had how long has it been? 2 weeks?
Maybe like 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah, 2
Okay.
weeks. I've had a good 2 weeks. I've had a lot happen in the homestead, so there's been a lot of big shaking up and things. My current start date for my new job is October the 1st, but it's still a little bit up in the air. So my dream job of stay-at-home dad is slowly winding down and coming to an end. So I'm a little sad about that, but I'm also happy to be moving back into a more productive role financially. So that's got its ups and downs, I suppose. Other than that, I've been just spending a lot of time with the family and doing some house projects. I watched a couple of movies, but now I don't remember any of them. I mentioned before that we went live that I did see the live action Aladdin, and it was, on par for all the other Disney live action movies. I don't go and see those movies. I just wait until I can watch them for free, and I watched that one for free. And, if you liked the other ones, you'll like that one, I guess. Probably. I mean, it was good insofar as those movies go. I don't think the live action Disney movies are really my thing. I've determined, but they're not bad necessarily. They're just not for me. Other than that, I guess I don't know. I'm still playing a little bit of Warcraft, not as much as I was playing when it first came out, but I fool around with it every once in a while. That's it. I have not been terribly interesting these last 2 weeks. I'm playing D&D twice tomorrow with 2 different groups. Or not tomorrow, on Saturday, because today is Thursday. On Saturday, I'm playing a bunch of D&D. Tomorrow, I go and work and host a tailgate out at NRG Stadium in Houston. So that'll be most of my day tomorrow. So I'll be outside all day, which kind of suck, but it is what it is. At least I'll be surrounded by football and food. So not a total loss. Yeah, that's it. I don't know. I'll just jump in on top of other people and interrupt them and insert myself into their intros. That's about
Why
all
are
I
you
got for mine.
taking my thing?
Hey, it's never been your thing.
I think it's been commonly accepted as my thing. One of the
I think
biggest complaints about me is that is my thing.
I think it's your thing only insofar as that it's a thing that everyone does on your channel and all of your shows.
That's fair.
All right. Let's talk about the best thing to come out of Nebraska since, well,
Corn.
I mean,
And corn's not even that good, let's be real.
I think corn is good, but I wouldn't say that
yeah.
Nebraska corn
Steak I had
specifically
when I was
is good.
there. That was good.
That'll get you shot. I've seen it.
That's because the steak you had was corn-fed beef, because corn's great.
I do like Mexican corn on the cob. I don't know if they have that in Nebraska.
I don't think so.
No.
It's
I
wonderful.
would say that's
No,
probably
they
an
have Nebraska
American
corn on the cob.
southern border thing.
Nebraska
That
corn on the
probably
cob.
is not a Mexican thing.
It's true.
In the same way that they don't have Belgian waffles in Belgium.
Oh, I can tell you for a fact that Mexican corn is.
Are you telling me that they might not have French fries in France?
I mean, they're called freedom fries there.
They're called potato
And
chopsticks.
that their French toast
France.
is not the French toast I'm thinking of.
Look, man, let me tell you something, okay? I
No,
want to
they
be
call it
super
egg bread.
clear about this. During the finale, Rad was like pancakes or waffles, and I was like, really? What is a pizza? Right? That whole discussion, I got fucking slaughtered in the comment section. People were writing like a paragraph. They were like, Arthur, you're wrong. I'm going to scientifically break down why cinnamon is not a topping. And I was like, okay, you've done your research, and I agree with you, but I'll never admit it. By the way, the pizza war still rages on weeks later between Sid's Pineapple-less faction and my Pineapple Plus faction, and now the Black Olivites have showed up in order to create a kind of triangle of, rock, paper, scissors.
Wait, what is the Black
I'm
Olive?
surprised this hasn't become an anime yet.
I do definitely, yeah, for real. I do definitely
It
imagine
has all the premise markers.
Black Olive Light sounds like a cult that has been gaining in political power like over time.
Apparently, the Black Olivites are split. Half of them believe that black olives should be included on any pizza, and the other half believe that black olives are an abomination that shouldn't be included on anything ever.
Oh, I love black olive.
I feel like black olives
What?
provide a very salty addition to a pizza that is more or less unnecessary on a regular, but if you put a lot of crisp, fresh vegetables up there, especially stuff that might drain the salt out of the cheese, black olives can be a fine addition. What I'm basically saying is that you can put anything on a pizza. Really, I should say, you can have pizza in the morning, pizza in the evening, and you can also consume pizza at summertime. When you put pizza on a bagel, you can eat pizza anytime. Just to be clear, we are not sponsored by anybody. Not even my favorite sponsorship company, Water.
Hashtag not sponsored by DiGiorno.
I'm not sure I'd want to be sponsored by DiGiorno. They are the opposite of everything I like about pizza.
But it is pizza.
Is it, though? I'm a guy who says that anything's pizza, but let me tell you something. I don't like these rising crust pizzas. They're disgusting. The crust is either... The crust never rises right. It either is too flat and then it's gooey and messy, or it's too hard and it's like a fucking brick and then you don't want to eat the crust. It's just some boomerang you throw out.
I like Totino's.
The pizza rolls. Do they make pizza?
The pizza.
They make
I didn't
pizza.
know that they made pizza.
Yeah.
It's like a thin crust.
Oh,
Dough.
you mean like Tombstone and all those other like little economy pizzas?
You cook
Hey,
up a
they're not
Totino's
bad.
and you just kind of fold it in half.
No, you make two and you make a sandwich and you eat it.
I mean, that's not a sandwich. What you were describing is the literal invention of a calzone, but okay.
You make a calzone out of two pizzas and you eat it.
That is how a calzone works, more or less.
What you do is you make a sandwich out of bread and some stuff, and then you eat it.
If you want to get real crazy, you throw some pizza rolls in the middle of it.
Isn't a calzone just a pizza sandwich, though?
Yes.
Yes, that.
Okay, so you got
essentially
Totino's on the bottom.
Almost
You
like
got a bunch of Totino's pizza rolls on it, and then you
Look.
top it with the Totino's pizza.
I want a 10-week, one video a week, Cotton and Pondo collaboration video series that calls back to the old days of epic mealtime. Where Cotton is just like, all right, we've got a bunch of really Nebraskan foods here. We're just going to combine them into one giant superfood. And Ashley's just like, all right, so we've made the pizza, and now we're stacking pizzas on top of each other into a pizza lasagna. And Pondo just stands nearby and is just like, all right, well, that's about 12,000 calories right there. I'm going to cut a slice off with this angle of inflection. I'm going to estimate it's about 3,000 calories in this one slice of pizza lasagna. That's what I want. That would be a quality content I would watch for 10 weeks.
And so we're
When you
going to
say
set that
Nebraska-
one 3,000 calorie slice aside and then eat the whole rest of it.
I don't know if you guys saw that video that I posted a couple weeks ago of a guy that was just like, all right, we're going to make a lasagna and then put it inside of a pizza, and then we're going to deep fry the pizza lasagna and smother it in chocolate sauce. Yeah, it was fucking incredible. I wouldn't eat it. I wouldn't look at it.
That doesn't sound.
But from a distance, I would admire it.
From a distance.
Cotton, you know, I said it was your intro, but then I cut you off with my ramblings.
I am Cotton. Doodling stuff. I think I got a new job today.
A new job?
Mm-hmm.
What confuses me is that you think you got a new job.
Well, I'm fairly sure. I was at an interview, and then she asked me if I would be interested in the job, and I said yeah, and then she's like, come in next Friday.
Okay, that usually is a pretty good
sure
indicator.
I got a new job, but I'm not sure if it's just to like do the next step. But I hope I got a new job because I'm putting in my 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's a good call.
Amazing.
All right. Well, that'll be very uncomfortable if you didn't get.
If I didn't get a new job, I can always.
I'm going to expect that you did get it though.
I think I got it because I think the way she was saying it, I think I got it. I'm really excited.
Look, you know you can just call and clarify, right?
No.
Yes.
Where's the fun in that?
This is
No,
absolutely
the-
thing you can do. You can just call and be like, hey, I'm making arrangements. I just want to be sure
Do
I
I
have
work
this.
here? Or...
Yes.
That'd be communicating with people.
I
and
know.
Verifying on its own right.
You're aware that I, a person who does not like communicating with people in real life, still would take this one immeasurable step. Very incredibly important to just be sure.
I'm fairly sure.
You don't sound completely sure, and that's
Well, now
the thing.
the more I think about it, the less sure I get. But I'm pretty sure.
Just call and ask.
But I already called to
No, but
clarify that it was
that
next
lack of
Friday.
certainty is just because because you know yeah, I wouldn't worry about it so much, but definitely call and clarify before you put in your 2 weeks notice. Better to hedge your bets.
Just tell them
Because-
you're a very nervous person. I'll make sure.
Just like, am I coming in for the next step in the interview process, or are you hiring me?
Oh
I
yeah,
just
what
wanna
Sid
be
said is
sure.
better. Yeah, do
Well,
that
she
one.
mentioned doing trainings in the morning.
And your appointment is for in the morning?
It is.
Okay, well, I
Mhm.
mean, if they're training you, then you're hired. But
Then you're hired.
So then, yeah, you got a new job.
look, I could skip over the time where I went to a job interview for a company that I'd been interviewing with for over 6 months. They've been dragging me along for such an enormous time, and it was like a 2-hour drive to get to their office to do in-person interviews. And I showed up, and they were just like, yeah, we need you to come in next week. And I was like, well, this job is 2 hours away, and next week is Thanksgiving week. And they were like, yeah, but you're starting on Monday. And I was like, it is Friday. And that's the story of how I found a place to live in 3 days and upended my entire life to New Jersey. Spent a month living out of hotels, including Atlantic City's Trump hotels.
Fun.
It was wild. Oh, yeah, look, let me tell you something. That hotel was awful.
Was
It had nothing. I mean, all of the hotels in Atlantic City are awful. Specifically, they're just really, really bad. I went up to Brigantine Beach. That's where the good hotels are at. Oh my god. I had a top floor penthouse for like, I don't know. I got like a week for $500. It was an incredible price. You know, like 6 or 7 rooms, top floor, ocean view, balcony. Yeah, it was full kitchen, multiple bedrooms. Amazing, amazing. I don't know why nobody went there. It was an incredible place. All of the hotels in Atlantic City are gambling establishments, and so you can really feel the despair walking through them.
Yeah, I was gonna.
There's
ask.
like a grim reaper following everybody
It's
around.
like a gross humidity made out of desperation instead of water vapor.
Wow, and you sound like a man who's been to Las Vegas. You know what I'm talking about. Although I will say this, Las Vegas does have some of the best theme parks in the world. right?
Yeah,
I don't
for
know
sure.
if you've seriously been there. You know that there are places that are like, we have a roller coaster in our casino, and I was like, that is awesome.
And you hear that and you're like, what you picture is not what it is. Like, it's a legit
Yeah,
roller
it's a full
coaster
theme park.
inside of a building.
Yeah. You know, it's just a full amusement park inside of a building that is also a casino and hotel. It's just
You imagine one
You
of
gotta
those
have somewhere to entertain
portable
the kids
carnival
while
roller
you're
coasters.
draining
No.
the parents'
Las
pockets.
Vegas is the only place in the world where they're like, we put the swimming pool on the 20th floor. And I was like, really? You didn't think the ground floor was good enough? They were like, no, we decided to do an indoor. And I was like, you're aware that you can do an indoor ground floor pool? They're like, 20th floor was convenient for us. And I was like, how? How do you get that much water up there on a regular basis?
The 20th floor was
reinforcing did you have to do to be able to support all that water?
Las Vegas, man. Just hotels. Casinos in general. Cotton, I appear to have stumbled off of your intros again.
You're fine.
You good?
One time I went to the city and there was a sporting goods store that had a Ferris wheel inside it.
That has shocked me. Which city are we talking about? Lincoln?
Lincoln.
Okay.
They also have like
Ferris wheel
a big, leading up to the Ferris wheel, they have these big arches of fish tanks. Tropical fishing.
And it's a sporting goods store?
Uh-huh.
One
Wait,
day.
They also had a plane hanging from the ceiling. It was like the coolest sporting goods store. They had a candy store in their sporting goods store.
Ever been to Walmart?
No, like it was like a different store within the store. Not like
I'm
they
just making sure. I mean, look, some people have never been to specifically foreigners have never been to Walmart before, and they're like, you can get guns and candy in the same store. I was like, sometimes they're right next to each other.
Yeah.
Actually, we have pretty much the only place store we actually have is Walmart.
Okay.
It's where the only place you can get your groceries besides the fancy grocery store, which I don't go to because it's expensive.
Please tell me that the fancy grocery store you're referring to is like Kroger.
No, it's like Gary's.
Okay. That doesn't sound fancy at all, Cotton.
But it is because it's fancier than Walmart.
Okay, well that's not hard, but I believe you.
Look, I'm telling you, I would love to see Cotton in New York City and take her to some of the patisserie delis down there where they're just like, here's a meat, $1,200 a pound. And I'm like, I will take 6 ounces. Extremely thinly sliced. I want that prosciutto to be transparent, okay?
I want to be able to trace drawings through that shit.
Those places are wild. It's like walking into a fucking wolf's den. All right.
We have a meat place here.
I'm sure you do.
Butcher. We have a butcher.
Yeah, I bet.
It smells like death when you go inside.
Again, none of this is shocking. I would be more surprised if you didn't have a butcher in a small town in Nebraska.
Yeah, that's fair.
All right. Anything else?
Nope.
All right. Some have called him the best thing to come out of West Virginia since me. It's Pondo.
It's you, Pondo.
Hi, how's it going?
Yeah, how is it going, Pondo? I just wanted to ask, have you achieved flatland insanity? It's that
Not
point
yet.
where local West Virginians can no longer remember what a horizon looks like. All they see is flatness in every direction, and they're like,
What
my
do you mean,
mind is
what
breaking
horizon
down.
looks like?
You mean what not a horizon looks like? Because that's West Virginia.
West Virginia, my friend, the horizons are beautiful mountains rising majestically with oranges and purples.
It's mostly the damn sun getting in my eyes, no matter how I look.
Yeah, I bet. Yep, you got
Very
flatland
inconvenient
insanity.
sometimes.
It happened. Happens to everybody that leaves West Virginia.
Right now, the sun gets like at a very perfect point at 7 o'clock, where it's like right next to the street lights. So I'm trying to look, see if it turns green.
Oh, you're on the interstate and you're driving and it's right directly in front of you and you're on the
Yeah,
east-west. Yep. That's what happens when you leave West Virginia. Fucking mistake.
When it's right over next to your rearview mirror, so when you put down your visor, it's right in between the visor and the rearview mirror. So you drive like this.
That's that's why they made the visors be able to pull out a little bit now.
Yeah,
To counteract that.
yeah, it's true.
What do you
Yeah, I
have?
had a
You have to
truck.
position yourself so it's like right behind
Yeah.
the road
Yeah.
itself.
Yeah.
I hate his truck because the thingy like stops here on me, so it doesn't actually do anything.
I was gonna say sometimes you got to try and like sit up or squatch down to try and get it just right to where you can see the stoplight but not the sun.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's just not possible.
I do like the straight roads. The straight roads are nice, especially when they're not dangling over like a cliffside that go, I don't know,
Mhm.
50 or so feet down to a bunch of trees. That way,
Mhm.
if you drive off that cliffside on accident somehow, either due by rain, slippery surface, or whatnot, you just don't immediately just crash into a tree, or you go tumbling down a cliff, so your car is just lost at that point.
The most unnerving thing about visiting West Virginia was definitely the sheer cliff drop off that the airport lands on.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's the
geez.
best thing about Chuck Yeager
No.
is the Yeager Airport.
That, no. Let me tell you something.
It's especially great when you're flying in. You just see is like nothing like because it's very much when you're flying in, it's like, oh yeah, that's some nice ground down there. And suddenly it's just like right at your level. It's like, oh,
Let me tell you something, friends. Obviously, you've never landed on the deck of a carrier or what I like to call the greatest airport in the entire world. On the island of Gibraltar. Yes, a tiny island in the middle of the Mediterranean Sea, which provides defensive capability in all directions and plugs up that nice Mediterranean Sea. In order to land a plane at the airport, the highway bridge has to be locked in a down position with no cars on it.
What?
They have to stop all road traffic to the island in order to have a long enough runway for the planes to land on.
That's pretty funny.
Look it up. That shit's real.
I remember I had some friends that were really into Flight Simulator, and so they would go around. Doesn't Atomic play a lot of Flight Simulator?
Yes,
I bet
he
could
does.
tell. I bet
Yeah.
he could tell us what airport. But he would always. We would play games with each other on these two airports because we'd had it all like land together. So we'd all be flying planes at the same time. There were these two airports. One of them was literally like on a plateau that was exactly the size of the runway. So it was like landing on an aircraft carrier.
Yep.
And another one was in like a crater where like you had to fly almost like at a 45-degree angle down at the runway and then land and then a 45-degree back up. And one was in like Africa. They're real runways, right? Like
Yeah.
flight simulators, obviously.
I
Like
believe you.
it's all about being like accurate. And they were ridiculous, but it was a lot of fun. So what we do is we'd set like the artificial cloud level where like it was right above like the feature or the runway to where like you couldn't see. You had to basically fly entirely by instrumentation. And you'd break through the cloud level right in time to know whether or not you were going to die or not, and not enough time to make any corrections. That was pretty fun.
Wow. You know, people not trusting their instruments is one of the top causes of small aircraft deaths.
That's true. That's
Yeah.
true.
I
As
hear
someone with a
so many
pilot's
stories
license,
about
I
people
can
that end up
attest.
upside down and they don't realize it.
Yep.
Seems like a weird. It feels like you'd be very obviously upside down.
It does seem
No.
obvious.
It does seem like it, but when you're in a cloud, I guess.
It's been a lot
sometimes
of
you hit
things.
negative G's, which I can see how it counteracts that.
Yeah, you know, sometimes you pull a 4G negative dive.
Inverted.
Yeah, exactly.
I was inverted.
I'm just saying.
I'm glad that all three of us could collaborate to make a Top Gun reference. I was hoping someone would get it, at the very least. Pondell, you got anything else going on when you aren't landing on tiny runways? Like Chuck Yeager, aka Spaceman Spacer?
I don't know about that one, but not much going on. Still have yet to actually have a first real session with the Pathfinder game. Hopefully that'll happen this Sunday.
Well, that's good because next Thursday we're gonna have a very real Pathfinder game.
Yeah. So I may be able to help with that after that point. We've kind of got stuff set up for a Savage Worlds Rifts game for when someone can't make it for whatever reason.
Been a lot of people dunking on Rifts lately.
What do you mean by dunking? Because I fully believe you.
Yeah, I mean, there are people that are like, let me list all my favorite RPGs and Rifts.
Rifts is a strange thing.
There are many strange tabletop RPGs,
Where
Mondo.
where you could just be like a normal human being or a freaking Atlantean that rides dragons all the time.
I mean, one of those things sounds cool.
Yeah, man, being a normal human being, I can't even imagine that shit.
That's what I was mean. That's exactly what I meant when I said that.
The other thing is going on is help set up a Savage World / Pokemon detective deal.
But yeah, I forgot about that again.
Oh,
It's
that's
on
a
her
movie I
server,
saw. I
mind
watched
you.
the Pokemon.
Sorry, tell me more about this. Are you saying that on the Discord server, Bunnyburrow, run by Cottontailed and Pondo, I could play a Detective Pikachu mystery-style game in Play-by-Post with you starting September 20th?
Roughly, yes.
I mean, what part of that was rough? Where was I incorrect?
No, you're correct.
Okay.
The part where you would be allowed to play.
I asked Cotton if I would get to play an NPC, and she said yes. And that's why I asked her, not Pondo.
She had
So
to say that because you
essentially-
can't say no to your close friends.
Exactly. That's why I asked her, not Pondo. I actually did address her as Team Kondo because I wanted to make sure Pondo was looped in on it, but
So
Not
big on
explain-
condo.
Yeah, I told him like 2 days later.
yeah, looped in.
I didn't even know that was 2 days ago. The 2 days earlier when she told me.
I think I only asked you yesterday. So-
I told him when I remembered, which I think was the next day.
Well, that would be today. So,
Day. I don't know. I don't know when I told him. I told him later. He knows.
all right. Well, I guess he does now.
Anyway, essentially the idea was to take the Pokemon combat of Pokemon Tabletop United, which does it relatively well, instead for the trainer portion or the person portion, use something else like Savage Worlds that is general purpose. That can be done.
Savage World is a very simple system, easy to use. It would be great for play by post, I think.
I don't know. We'll find out. The only reason why I thought of Savage Worlds was because I was more familiar with that than I was with Genesis. And OVA could have worked, but wasn't sure about it honestly. So just like, let's just do this, and okay.
Okay.
So around 20th, maybe earlier, maybe later. I don't know. We'll have the first like kind of mission or whatever set up and see where it goes.
If people wanted to join this play-by-post for September the 20th, how would they do that?
By either getting hold of me or Cotton, namely on your channel, probably.
Or they could do it on your Twitter. We're in
That
chat
could also
now.
work.
All of those are viable options.
Actually, do I have permission to post links? I am a moderator.
You are a moderator.
I have the power, maybe.
If the bot bans you, I'll just...
Let's test this theory.
Actually, I'm the only person on this stream that is not a moderator.
Well, Rad is a moderator only so that he can post links to his own artwork.
I was a moderator. I've been a moderator for years.
But I don't expect him to enforce any chat rules.
Yeah, he doesn't, but I have, just not with him noticing.
There's a moderation log.
I don't like.
Someone
this
just
person.
silently
Arthur is
disappears from the
paying
chat,
attention.
and Arthur's like, I guess they stopped watching. It
But I
doesn't show up in the
posted-
log because it's not a Twitch thing. I just call in a strike on their home.
Okay, calm down there, Spider-Man.
Yeah.
You know, I don't actually know what state Alpha is from, so the best thing coming out of that state is Bit Alpha. I don't know it. I'm sorry, I can't tee up this ball.
Best thing out of Soviet Russia since hammers and sickles. Nope. All right.
No. I mean, the hammers and sickles weren't very good.
But that depends on who you ask. I use a hammer almost every day.
But do you use a Soviet hammer? You using those 30-year-old Soviet hammers?
If the situation requires it.
I would think that they'd be broken by now. I mean, they only work good for 5 years. That's how long they plan to work them.
Yeah, you lost me.
5-year plan? Nothing. All right, that's
No.
fine. Before your time. It's before my time.
Yeah.
Sid, let's just do your intro.
Yeah. Hi. So
Only people that are 60 years old in the audience get the 5-year plan reference. It's fine.
I didn't get the 5-year plan.
I'm sure there's some nerds in there that do.
So.
Chime
There's the
in,
whole
nerds.
point of the Soviet Republic.
Tell us you're good. and
They
you're
created
cool, but
5-year
you
plans and were like, this is how we're going to run the country for the next 5. Oh my God. Learn fucking government, people.
Go on, Eric. I know you got it. Tell us you got it, you nerd.
All right, Wolfenbach got it. I don't know who that is, but thank you, Wolfenbach. Somebody got the 5-year plan.
Chime in so I can make fun of you for knowing things.
Sid, how your week went, how the last 2 weeks have been. Is it important?
man.
Is it not important? Does it really matter? What I want to know is, how was Greedfall? Okay, because from what I can tell, that game looks like if you took The Witcher and set it during white people coming to invade North America, and then we're like, also, there's fucking tree ants and jaguars.
Yeah.
And they're magical.
Yeah, no, I'm digging it. A lot of other YouTubers, I know. I think Upper Echelon Gaming just did a review on it, and he didn't care for it, but I've actually been really liking it. It's so far the characters, the voice acting, the story so far has been great. It's definitely not without its flaws by any means. I mean, it's got some bugs. They do reuse assets a lot. I mean, you'll see the same faces quite a bit. With minor NPCs.
Turn
and,
me
like,
away. Like, I was
all
into
three
it.
of the main governors, their houses are all exactly the same, just with different decorations. So that can get on you a little bit. The voice acting is superior, and the story is good. It's got your classic format of this kind of new world has been discovered, this island or whatever, and there's native tribes and everything that they don't really understand. You know, all these more technologically advanced countries that are setting up shop on their island, and so naturally there's some conflict there. And you have 3 primary factions that are coming to the island. You have the faction that your character plays, which is kind of like a merchants conglomeration, and then you have another faction which is kind of like the Arabs. You know, they're very that faction. You know, they're very scientific oriented and things like that. And then you also have the other faction, which is basically your Puritans. And they, for all intents and purposes, they are the Puritans. I mean, they even have the pilgrim style clothes and everything like that, and inquisitors, and so
Like Inquisitions.
so there's a lot of potential there, and so far the story has been holding up really well. I've only got like 8 or 10 hours into it, but yeah, I'm really enjoying
I
it.
I think I'll pick it up on
looking
sale.
for a good RPG style game, and so even with its flaws, I really like it.
I'll do a playthrough as Count Ronald Swan. Try to solve everything with treachery and money.
You can definitely go that route. Yeah, aside from that, it's been personal life has been extremely eventful the past couple of weeks. I ended up exploding at my day job on Friday and yelling at all of managed services, and not just yell but bellow. And it was to the point where the owners, because the owners were also out of town, they came back and it's like, if it was anyone but you.
I mean, when you say bellow, are we talking your mic hits the red zone level of?
No, he got one of those fireplace accordion things and was blowing it in everybody's face.
No,
Whipped out a set of
He's like,
bagpipes.
fuck you, fuck you.
it was bad.
Plays
It's like,
accordion thing.
I can't fucking stand you people anymore. You're goddamn worthless.
Yeah, that's pretty bad,
For a
man.
while. It wasn't a quick blow up either. It was several minutes, like actual minutes of me yelling. It's like I'd been telling everyone for a long time, for months and months, that I need a break from these people because they're driving me insane. Well, they finally drove me over the brink. So now I'm getting what I want. It was interesting. I actually thought I was potentially going to lose my day job over it, but then I remembered that I am me and they really can't live without me. So
You listen, man. I've lived a life, and there's one thing I've learned in that life. It's that people who think that they are Dr. House tend to end up in the garbage bin.
I see. The thing is, though, I was expecting to get fired because if I were if I were in their shoes, I would have fired me over that. I would have. But I sat down and I did the math and I was like, can I survive if I lose this job with my income as it is right now? And the answer was yes. So all factors of actually caring about whether I lost my job or not went right out the window. But, I kept my job, so I get to pay some of my bills off faster. So there's that.
Good call.
And they're going to adjust things around they're going to make some changes with, to make sure that that people know that, there comes a point in time where you have to stop questioning the person in charge. And they're also going to make some changes to take care of some other stuff. So I don't find myself being driven insane anymore, which is very nice.
Okay.
And on top of that, Greedfall, I've really been thoroughly enjoying. I've gotten some videos out on my channel recently that have been doing really well. I just broke 95,000 subscribers, so the 100,000 looms ever closer. And
look, I'm just trying to get over 2,000 on YouTube. Listen to this man, 100,000.
And the two people that I've been taking care of for the past several months are now gainfully employed with full-time jobs, and their lives are getting back on track, and they're going to be leaving before too much longer, and I get my domain back.
Sweet.
So
I mean,
things are coming up roses right
now. Domain?
Huh?
Domain?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll just let that one pass.
I don't really have much of a personal space right now because it got given up for that.
I understand.
So
yeah, I remember having personal space before I got another cat.
Not quite the same thing, but
look, I just want to say that laugh from Cotton, I feel like it was a pity laugh. It was very slow. It took several seconds.
Sorry.
I don't know why you apologize for everything. All right.
So yeah, it's been a good thing. So I had a minor blow up, but it ended up being a positive. Ended up coming out with a positive result. So
please do not anticipate that in the future.
No, I wasn't anticipating that at all. Like I said, I was anticipating losing my job, and I was okay with it. But I ended up not losing my job, and there will be a better work environment, and a lot of people, not just me, will be happier with the end result. Because I sat down with them, and we spent several hours figuring out how to take things forward in a better path. Because the culture at work was the way it was for a very long time, because it kind of needed to be. But the company's, we're not a company of 4 people anymore. We're a company of 28, and so that structure just doesn't work the same. And so things have to change a bit. It's just the way it is.
That's just the way it is?
That's just the way it is.
Some things.
Things will never be the same? We all were going there. All right, friends. We're now entering the second part of tonight's program. We're going to break down season 3. There were some mixed emotions. There was a lot that happened at the very last second. We're just going to talk about season 3 of Battletech, and then we're going to get around to talking about playing Pathfinder. Has anyone come to any different or profound conclusions since we played Battletech? Because I got to tell you, there's at first, there was kind of the, hey, stop with the space magic plot. Don't worry. In season 4, I will only refer to space magic one more time, and that will only be to say we're never doing another space magic plot again. Gone. No more. What happened? No shit. Okay, I didn't accidentally close the stream. I thought I did.
Oh.
No, I'm good. There were some combats. There was Grimdark James. Apparently, some would say he was perturbed by my handling of the Wolverine's final death from above. Apparently, it was not handled correctly. However, based on the rolls, it still would have gone down like it did. I still don't know what I did wrong, though. James never outlined exactly how I got it wrong.
I think it was the repeated piloting checks.
I see.
I
understand.
That's what it was.
And I didn't have to add I didn't have to add my movement penalty to the
final check.
So
yes.
his DFA would have been easier, if I remember correctly.
Yes. Essentially, I didn't have to make a piling check for all the rolls except for when I hit the 20 damage
The
and
20
above.
damage, yeah.
The first time you got shot and when you take 20 damage would have been the 2 you needed to do.
I don't remember.
We'll check with Grimdark James. Don't worry.
Yeah.
I'm sure he'll provide me with a paragraph with my favorite thing, parentheses, rules, notations on this page in this book. I have to tell you, I'm really glad that that's been spreading around, because people have been like, hey, Arthur, what about this one neat rule? And I'm like, where's it from? And they're like, campaign operations. And I'm like, I haven't even heard of that book. Anyone have anything to share about season 3? Kind of feels like nothing. I don't know.
I actually really enjoyed season 3. I thought it was a fantastic arc, and there was a lot of stuff going on, and it felt, like it felt tense, and it felt like we never had a chance to catch up and breathe. But then again, when your planet's being invaded by a bunch of clanners, yeah, it's kind of that way a bit. And I might have objected to some things in the moment, but looking at things through hindsight, I have much fewer problems with everything than I did. I thought it was really good. The characterizations, Rad really brought a lot with Molly Olsen's story arc, and that was some fantastic role playing elements there. And yeah, I'm pretty happy with things.
Well, I'm glad you like it. I felt basically the opposite. I felt really good about it.
I know, you felt very tormented.
And then since then, I've been lamenting the entire thing.
Has that changed? Because you seemed Phantom of the Opera-ish in your level of self-flagellation over it.
I was really bummed out, man. It was never my intention It was never my intention to make my friends that I sit down and play role-playing games with every week uncomfortable.
Well, see, I was worried because
or to tell a story at someone else's expense. You know what I mean? Like,
because I know that everything was discussed and stuff about the potential that Molly could kill Bandito, and that could be a very real thing. And we'll see what happens with the role playing and stuff. And that was discussed before this evening started. But it's one thing to say it in the moment, and then kind
Sure.
of like sidelong glancing at Pondo, like because I'm worried about doing this to Pondo. My character is still going to do the same thing basically, but yeah, I don't want to hurt my friend is the thing.
Right. And that's my
Is
thing. It's
basically
like,
all it was. But the character arc and stuff, I thought it was fantastic. It kind of threw me for a loop for a little bit, and I had had a think fast rabbit moment for what the hell would Harridan do right now.
yeah. There was just
Would he just pick up that gun and shoot Bandito in the head, or would or would he shoot Molly, or would he have one of them arrested?
there was a lot of like audience pushback, which doesn't really bother me as a lot. It's really more like the reactions and feelings of the people I play with, and I'm sorry, that's not a slight on you, audience. I love that you show up and watch our show and find it entertaining, and it's a high point of your week to watch us play this game. I think that's very honoring, I think, in a lot of ways. But at the same time, like, you can't allow yourself to be armchair quarterbacked by all the people of the internet telling you what your character should or shouldn't be doing, or how they would or wouldn't act. I don't think that's a very healthy or productive way to be a person on the internet, if that makes sense. So I would certainly hear all of those things, and I do take them to heart, and sometimes they hurt my feelings. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a sensitive soul. I can't ever change the way I am or what I do because of those things, right? Like, and Sid got some pushback too. People were like, "Oh, Harridan's shouldn't have done that. He would have done this," and like,
yeah,
that's
but
fine. I think
I don't care.
Right. We have a Discord for you to express those feelings. So I mean, you can, but don't ever have the expectation that we as players are going to change anything based off how you think we should play. Right.
I say I don't care. I do, but I say I don't care because I do care that you say this and stuff like that, and the reason why people are engaging and are objecting to some of this stuff is because they are invested in the character's story, even if Herod is probably one of the least liked characters ever. There's still
I don't think that's
there.
remotely true.
There's still an investment there, but it's like I don't care about your outrage because I know the character and I know that's what the character would do in that instance, right or wrong. That's part of the character, and that's not going to change.
Right.
That's why I say I don't care. It's like it's not that I don't care about people's opinions and the feedback and all that. I actually do really enjoy that, but at the end of the day, the character is the character.
Yes, I 100% agree with all of that sentiment. But for me, it's just like, I don't know, it rubbed people the wrong way, whether they expected it to or not. When it finally,
I don't think
happened,
that's true. I think
that's how I feel.
I think you're overestimating the number of people.
I'm just talking about the people on this call right now. I'm not talking about anybody else, really.
I don't want to call anybody out, but if anyone has anything to say in that regard to help soothe the guilty conscience of our Bandito killer here,
I don't need to be placated. That's what I'm saying. Even if they're okay with it now, to have caused,
I am the Bandito killer. He put things in my hands.
to just have caused discomfort, even in the moment, I'm not happy about. So I've resolved myself to play it pretty light and tight from here on out. I'm not going to push. I'm done with drama, essentially. I'm not interested in that anymore on the show.
I'm actually glad
just to be clear
in that position, to be frank, because I would never put myself in that kind of uncomfortable position to put myself in the spot where to make that decision about someone else's character. I would have never done that myself, and it was a good experience for me, and I learned some very valuable lessons from that.
Well, that makes
I have no problem with it at all.
That's good to hear. That definitely makes me feel good, but
I was
I
going
don't
to make
know.
a Black Eyed Peas
I'm still
reference.
processing. There was a lot that happened. I've never. Okay, so like I've pushed envelopes, and I do that routinely in most games that I play, but it's usually with family and friends. Not that you guys aren't my friends, but I'm obviously people I've spent 10, 12 years with. Plus, I'm a lot more keyed into what they will. What will push their buttons or not push their buttons, or what they're comfortable with versus what they're not comfortable with. And I've known everybody here for years, but not quite like as in depth as somebody that I see, every day, all of my life. So I guess I've just, maybe to say that I'm done with drama is hyperbole. Maybe I should just say that I'm committed to playing it a lot safer from here on out, because like I said, I carry a lot of guilt in having degraded the gaming experience for my fellow players in any way, even if it was just temporary. I'm glad, especially Sid says it. I'm glad that there's like some like positive hindsight and involved and related to that makes me feel better. But at the same time, like and people talk about the space magic stuff. It was never my intention for the space. You know what I mean? Like when I came up with an idea for Molly and her story, and what I thought would be a cool story to tell, space magic was never a factor for me.
I know.
Like, for me, it was a very, it was a really paint by numbers revenge story. I felt like that echoed Bandito's, and I felt like people got a lot of gratification out of Bandito's story, and it made the audience very close to him, and have, whether they were positive or negative, they had a lot of feelings about Bandito and him as a character. And I thought it would be cool to take kind of like a counterpoint character that was on the same arc that we could follow and see, and basically end up with a tipping point as to whether or not it turned out to be the same story that Bandito had or the opposite story that Bandito had. And the space magic thing, like
that was me. That was.
Look,
I just tried to do a thing where I was like, all of my shows will be connected now.
It was a hurdle that I thought I could just slip over, and it would not be a big deal. But it didn't work out that way.
The biggest deal. Let me tell you something. There are a number of people that have contacted me and are like, Arthur, how can we get Bandito back? What hoops do we have to go through to solve this? I'm like, calm down.
That's the thing, man.
Calm down.
Sid says it, but I think Molly is easily the most hated player character that's appeared on this show.
I don't agree.
She's potentially cost the audience characters that the audience really loves.
I feel like you believe that, but I don't think the general audience
who do you believe
believes
is the most hated PC?
The Doctor.
Carlton.
The Doctor, really?
Yeah.
The Doctor.
On this show, the Doctor. Yeah.
Maybe it's just too far in the past.
See, people are saying they like Molly. I think you are drawing a conclusion with no evidence to support this.
You're right.
Your own mind has twisted you into believing that you've destroyed all of your friendships and everything you've done has invalidated years of work, and it's really look. I'm not saying it was a great thing to do, but it's not as bad as you made it.
You've certainly received a lot more quantifiable feedback on the show than I have, so I will defer to your judgment 100%.
The only thing that had an issue with what happened with Bandito was that he somehow got tried and put to jail, which confused me.
I kind of had. That's actually what I had a problem with.
Well,
too,
look, guys, I didn't have a lot of leeway there. We were like an hour late. I was trying to wrap up an entire season. It was super tense. Everyone was like, I have a gun. I also have a gun. A third person was like, look at this gun. Then everyone was messaging me. They're like, I would also like to buy the best lawyer on the planet. I'm like, great. 3 of the best lawyers on the planet show up. I may not have made the best decisions in the moment there.
It's okay. It was we were running really late.
Because 3 of the best lawyers on the planet versus space magic. Who do you think is going to win?
Space
it
magic
ain't gonna
every
be
time.
I mean, look, man, I've seen Star Wars movies. Space magic usually wins. Okay.
Yep, that's what I'm saying.
Even though season 3 was like a rough start for me, I feel like towards the end there, I kind of like picked it up. Because like in the beginning, I kept on getting shot out of my mech.
I also agree with that too.
Yeah.
It was very funny for me. After a whole season of you wandering around in a Devastator, it was very fun. And you just couldn't quit the Devastator either. You were like, oh, our Devastator is just sitting there empty. Let's go steal that Devastator. I was just like, you can't let it go.
Great machine, it really is.
It's a good machine that we needed at the time because we needed whatever we could get, essentially, because we'd just been knocked down like 2 mechs, essentially. So,
I mean, if he didn't want the Devastator, I would have taken the Devastator.
yeah.
I mean,
So
well,
it's
calm
I
down. You
love
have a
the Devastator.
Timberwolf now. What are you worried about? The Devastator's worth of firepower with the movement speed of a medium mech.
And I'm pretty okay with that.
I feel like, and I really do want to have more situations like at the very end of season 3 where we had to do some sort of crazy play. Like I had to do that DFA so that way I could get out.
That was nuts.
I
I
mean,
thought for sure we were gonna lose Bandito. Pondo's like, nah, I got this.
I'll do a little behind the curtains here. For anybody that doesn't want to be spoiled for season 4, stop listening for like the next 60 seconds. I have talked to Sidious and Dynamis, and they are working on a 4 times larger than normal map for the season introduction battle. Essentially, our regular map, 4 times that. 4 of them jammed together in a rectangle. We're talking lots of running around. I was hoping that I could convince you guys to use your, I'll call it the mobility lance. I still have no idea what Cotton's playing, but good thing I don't need to solve that for 3 weeks. But yeah, like we would have just like a wild kickoff battle that isn't just assault mechs stand next to each other and fire at short range.
Mhm.
And then throughout the season, we would come up with more stuff. Like I'm thinking we're going to do a lot of city
some
fighting,
thoughts
tanks
about
popping
that
out
too.
of buildings, elementals
thoughts about that
pouring
too.
out of bunkers.
See, I'd like to do more city fighting because it would.
That's
Make
good.
other
That's good
mechs
because I
more
intend to
like-
do just like 5 Hunchback 2Cs pop out of a parking garage.
Yeah. What was I thinking? I did like that last battle probably play a little too loose because I was enjoying having such a mobile mech again.
Yeah. No, sorry.
Yeah. Well, it was like you're opening up your rear arc and like I'm fine. It's okay.
I remember on the break, I was like, you got to stop moving back to the thing because I can leave in so many turns. And he's like, okay. And then he just climbs up the mountain.
He was moving the wrong direction was the best part. It wasn't even like he was moving sideways. He was going backwards. That last battle was wild as hell. That's what I think. There were more back shots in that episode than there have ever been in all of our episodes combined. So much back shots. Excluding that one time where I used the back shot table for all the vehicles on the episode where Henley guessed it in when I was supposed to use the front side arc. That was bad.
Oh, is that why our vehicles kept on dying?
No,
so
it was enemy vehicles. You were shooting enemy
was it?
vehicles and they were all exploding instantly. And I was like, this seems weird.
No, our vehicles kept on exploding because they're being shot by clan stuff. That
Yeah,
does
you're talking about.
damage.
Look, I gotta tell you, I've started theory crafting the season 5 stuff, and you guys were like, I would love to defend that wall, and I was like, yep, that's season 5 intro right there. You guys will defend your own base mission. That'll be pretty cool. I can't
Can I
wait for
hack
it.
my large lasers again? That'd be nice.
You can have the 2 large laser turrets that are on that wall,
Okay.
and you don't need to hack it because it's your lasers.
Fair enough.
You don't need to create a secret secondary login for the system administrator.
That was another highlight for me is when I hacked the system just to say screw you to the Star Commander.
I loved that.
I had to spend a point of edge, you son of a bitch.
I had to lose a gate control system.
That's
Oh
fine.
boy, not a gate
Gate
control
control
system.
system for Star Commander.
Panda was like, I'm gonna get yelled at so much for this gate control thing, and then it was just like, oh yeah, gate control blew up. All right, let's order a new one. He was like, that was devastating. The Countess destroyed me. Her stare was withering. Let's talk about Pathfinder then, unless anyone has any wrap up Battletech season 3.
Has people decided on their mechs for the next? I think I'm
No,
maybe Rad might have.
don't even
already.
talk about it. Talk
That's
about
for
it.
Patreon people.
3
That's
weeks.
for Patreon.
AP Gaming XXX After Dark, right?
That's right.
Oh shit, we need a graphic then for
No, we don't. We definitely don't. I'm good.
I think we do. I think we need an XXX After Dark for this.
We already have the Swarktastic Super Show, which I will never use again. That everything went wrong for me on the technical side. I just literally could not watch the show with volume, no matter what I tried to do. It was so goddamn annoying. And it sucks because I really like the quest.
Yeah, I mean to go back and watch that. I thought it was pretty cool.
You know what we should all be watching is what characters we're making for this Pathfinder game coming up.
Yeah.
So we all are in this Roll20, which the audience can't see because it doesn't matter to them. And we've all hopefully got our Pathfinder 2nd edition rulebooks, right?
Yep.
Are
Yeah,
you
mine's-
downloading it right now from the pin section of Battletech?
No, I have it open.
Oh, okay. Just making sure.
Mine's
Your
right
yep
next
was
to
a
it.
little...
Thanks for the vote of confidence, though.
Well, you know, it sounded a little flat, like someone who was currently opening up
No.
Discord.
No.
Okay.
I'm good. I'm ready.
I'm totally not.
That would have been Sid who went
Yeah.
wide-eyed as soon as
It
she
does
said
seem, you know, I focused in on Rad, and in the background, Sid had to backhack the Discord.
I've
in
got
order
roll
to-
20 open. I've got
Jesus Christ, 642 pages.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
only
bro.
like 400 plus in. It's rough. I still don't know how to play the game either. This is a fucking horribly laid out rulebook.
I
The
sure.
first thing I would like to point out is on page 5 of the PDF.
Well-
Page 4 and 5 of the PDF, we get to see illustrations of Pathfinder's kobolds, and I love them so much.
Yeah, little dragon men. They're dragon
amazing.
dogs. Yeah, they're good.
Uh,
That's the new kobolds too. That's not how they
Yes.
used to look.
The design is head and shoulders, much like the goblin. The design is
Oh,
head and
wow,
shoulders over what Wizards offers in those two races, in my opinion.
I mean, they redesigned goblins for 2E, and they look even better now than they did
Yeah.
before.
Both goblins and kobolds from Pathfinder 2nd Edition are now my two favorite things in the world. And if I could play those two races exclusively forever in every fantasy-based role-playing game I played, then that is exactly
I told
what-
you, man. River's Edge for 5E. We're gonna do an all monster party.
I'm into it.
Yeah.
Can I play a kobold from Pathfinder? Just graphically, not
Sure. I
okay.
would have thought you'd pick a bugbear or something, or a tabaxi, or
I spent a lot of time with Bugbear recently in a
Mhm.
play-by-post,
Mhm.
so I've definitely scratched the Bugbear itch.
yeah, man. They made goblins look way less comical and way more like compactly evil
Yeah,
in 2nd edition, and I like it. I also like the old goblins too.
yeah, same. I agree.
Hey, Rad, the audience is saying you need to start taking commissions again. It's too bad, because you're still working for me.
Yeah, I finished a couple commissions just this past week. I'll have you know.
I want to say, by the way, so I noticed that Rad always turns his commissions in on the last possible day.
It's
So
true.
weeks and
This is
weeks
so
ago,
great.
when I commissioned him for the Game of Thrones stuff, he was like, "What day do you need it by?" And I was like, "The first. I need it by the 1st." And he turned it in on the 1st. He's like, "I'm sorry, it's last second. I was working on it until the last minute. I was sick." And I was like, "Calm down. I don't need them for 7 more days. I just wanted to make sure you had something."
It was beautifully done, by the way.
I'm
Brilliant.
gonna continue to do that in the future because it works
Yeah.
for me to have something ready to go ahead of time.
Yes.
My last girlfriend used to do that too. She knows, like, okay, he needs to be here by this time. I'm going to say that he needs to be here like half an hour before that time.
Yep.
And that way he'll only show up like 5 minutes late.
Exactly.
I used to be a very punctual person, and then I got married and had children, and now I've given up on ever being anywhere on time ever again in my whole life.
You were the first person here tonight.
You know, like I said, I just want to throw you off. I want to keep you guessing. Don't want you to feel like you know me or anything like that.
All right. Rad has suggested that everybody play a goblin, and we do an all goblin party. Sid, I believe you have also checked in with the all gobliness.
I mean, we don't have to do an all goblin.
I
party,
assume that
but I'm
Cotton and
definitely
Pondo
down
are
for
facing
playing
each
a
other
goblin.
and handing something to each other because both their cameras suddenly got really smushy.
What, do you remember the rice guy?
Yeah, I remember Rice Guy.
So Pondo hit ignore messages so that he can't message me anymore. So he tried calling me like 2 seconds ago.
Yeah,
So I gave Pondo my phone
yeah,
to deal with it.
yeah.
That was what was going on.
You're getting
Okay.
harassed by Rice Guy? What?
Rice guy. So some guy, he added me on Facebook, and I was like, sweet, a buddy. So I was talking to him for a little bit, just like, how's your day? You know? And then he was just like, buy my family rice, we're starving to death.
Oh,
I felt like maybe it was a bad thing, but I was worried, what if he's actually starving? And then Pondo told me we couldn't give him rice because it's probably a scam, and it's kind of,
I mean,
fair.
Yeah, if they're starving and they need rice, they probably can't afford to pay for internet.
yeah. Maybe cancel your cell phone service. And
That's questionable, right? Like, it's pretty ubiquitous to pick up a smartphone and pick up on some public Wi-Fi, but probably it's a scam.
It's a scam.
Cotton, Pondo, how are you feeling about all goblins? Maybe you want to switch it up. Maybe you want to be goblins. I don't know. Do we be goblin? Are we goblins? What in the goblin language is the conjugate term? You know? How do we grammatically express that we could all be goblins?
I have an idea for a goblin if we want to do all goblins. If Pondo does not want to do all goblins, I have a different idea.
Pondo, it's literally down to you. Even
This is
Cotton
what I'm
called you
gonna
out on
do.
it.
I don't care.
I've heard you say this before, and sometimes I think that you do care, and that you're just a little tsundere.
I don't.
This is my life. Every time I ask him anything, it's, I don't care. And I can't never tell if he cares.
It's true.
I don't know. I might go with the fact that he actually doesn't care. It's possible.
I am up for whatever. If she picks goblins, I'll go goblins. If she doesn't, then I'll figure
No,
out what
no,
I'm
no,
doing.
no, no, no. Don't put it back on me.
Already put that on you.
Don't you put that on me, Ricky Bobby.
Goblins it is.
Well, yeah, I heard
There we
Cotton
go.
say she was up for playing a goblin, and then she passed it to Pondo, and he said I would play one if Cotton does. To me, mathematically, that means it doesn't pass back to Cotton. In terms of Magic the Gathering, we have resolved this stack as goblins.
Mm-hmm.
The math need go no further.
That's fine. I was just trying to mess with her because I was going to try to make her make a decision.
It sounds like both of you are bad at making decisions.
Actually, I already made a decision when I was thinking about playing before we decided goblins.
You were thinking of playing a halfling. Bard.
Playing a human.
Actually, it was supposed to be a half orc. Because half orc.
Do a half orc.
Yeah, be a half orc and we'll be all of your adopted children.
Yeah.
Sure.
All right, there we go. We've got our races. Tell me about this situation. How did this come around? And it doesn't necessarily have to be adopted children, but maybe you guys are part of a village of, I would say, tentatively, I would say like monstrous people.
I was going to say that we got fed up with our one horde, so we decided, like, you know, let's start our own horde.
Oh, so you guys are like colonists.
Hordes are good.
You know, you're setting
like
out
those.
into the world. Level 1, you know, just trying to find your space. Can we take this forest? What wealth and resources does this forest possess? Is there a way to stay warm at night? How are we feeling about this horde idea? Rad, your face has not moved in several seconds.
So I'm going to cheat a little bit, and I'm going to borrow some character elements from a character that I developed at an earlier date. And I'm going to say that I'm all for that. My character will have left already and could possibly be returning because he did an apprenticeship in a local town. And that's going to be like his background. So he's the kid that like left for college and is now returning from college
No, is this Goblin Orc College, or did you go to like
No, he
Elf
legit went
Town?
to like he legit went and like did a journeyman apprenticeship in like a mage tower somewhere.
Okay, interesting. You're a wizard?
No, I'm gonna be an alchemist.
Oh, okay. All right. So yeah, you went to science school and you've come back and all of your cool friends are like, "You know what? Fuck that horde. We're going to form our own horde." We're Cotton, why are you leaving the horde? And what do you do in general, when you're not part of the horde?
My name is Blink.
Blink. Okay.
That's what I've come up with.
Yeah. That's all you got?
That's all I got.
Do you blink a lot, or were you in charge of like taking care of blink dogs? Are you very fast? And people are like, we call her Blink because she goes past in the blink of an eye.
I think she's a blinker. She'll just like stare emptily at something and blink occasionally when she's confused by something or fascinated by something. That's about it.
Okay, I don't know how to work with that yet, but
I don't either.
I look forward to the evolving story.
I just liked the name Blink.
I understand. Sid, I'm tossing it to you. Why have you left the horde, and what do you do when you're not a part of it?
I left the horde because, well, us goblin folk have been getting the short end of the stick for way too long.
Well, that's because you're short.
And
Irrelevant.
it's time we change that.
So you're like a goblin political revolutionary. I mean, you yearn for the sweet taste of freedom from out of the orcish boot heel. That's what I thought. Maybe we're not on the same page here.
All we need is a little RESPECT.
So is that your plan, is to form a new horde where you can get that respect?
Mm-hmm.
As like a hordes person, a high-ranking hordesman.
Yeah, they thought we were nothing. We're going to show them.
Okay. Interesting. Just making some notes here. Up-and-coming politician or sociopath.
I would never play a
Sid Alpha's
sociopath.
Goblin.
What's the difference?
There
the
can
real
be...
question.
Jimmy Carter wasn't a sociopath. Let me start by saying that.
Okay, that's one person.
I know. That's how narrow of a focus I had to go.
That's a fair suggestion that she's nearsighted and has to squint and blink a lot to see better.
Cotton is playing a nearsighted blinking goblin with no current purpose. Blink.
See, blinking, and I'm back to Robin Hood Men in Tights again. God damn it.
Tell me about your half-orc. Is his name Brad, and is he a barbarian?
No, it would be bra variant. I forgot the age.
My bad. How could I forget the bra? Tell me more about who they actually are, rather than who I try to make them be.
I think it was just that one who was like set in line to be like the war chief of the one horde, but apparently older brother got all the attention, all the privileges, and he was just kind of pushed to the side. So he was like, you know what? I want to start my own horde. I don't need you. We have better things, more money, more food.
Let me ask you a question. I want to up the drama on this.
Blackjack.
We've
hookers.
established you have an older brother, correct?
Yep.
All right. Are you the second son of a human mistress, and that's why you're a half-orc, and your older brother's a full orc? And that's why your dad has... You might be more competent than your brother, but at least he's a full orc.
That makes sense, yes.
I mean, that's just one possibility. I'm just throwing it out there.
I'm just a dirty half-breed compared to them.
Look, I definitely did not say that. I might have implied it, but I would never say those words out loud. Probably. I played Jade Regent, so I probably said something like that, actually.
You didn't say it out loud, but you implied it.
Oh, Jade Regent.
So
I
you're
said,
in mudblood, is it?
wow, Sid, how could you... That's we have to shut the stream down. I don't think we can say that on Twitch. Look, I just want to say, by the way, I saw this news article about a guy who divorced his wife because she named the daughter Khaleesi, and I was like, that was a very popular name for about 4 years there, and he's like, indecipherable differences between my wife. She literally wants to name our daughter Hitler. And I was like, that's true. All of these young, like 4-year-old girls that are named Khaleesi that think it's a strong name, they really fucked that ending up so badly. Now she's literally just known for burning cities down. That's it.
I really don't get how people didn't see that coming.
I didn't see it coming, Sid. I thought we would get a great ending.
Coming a while away.
I mean, look, I'm just saying, I thought the little girl would cut her open and wear her skin and then everything would be great. Game of Thrones could have gone so many different ways. Cotton's like, I have no idea what they're talking about. You're in a better place.
I watched the first season.
Well, that is a season.
Arya's great.
Yeah, exactly.
Arya is great.
She's even better when she starts cutting people open and wearing their skin.
I'm not shocked that she starts doing that.
Wow.
She was a very feisty girl in the first season, and then a bunch of sad stuff happened. So if she goes straight to murdering, it's
No, it actually continues to get worse all the time.
not surprised. The way that was just going downhill. There's a lot of naked people in it too.
Yeah.
There is
How
a
do we
lot of
land?
naked people in that show. It's HBO after all. That's bound to happen.
Eric, thanks for the sub. Your question is, how do we land on The Expanse? I like season 1. Season 2 was not as good, but it was still good. No one else has
I
any
have not
follow-ups?
seen The Expanse.
You are missing out. Season 1 was great.
Oh,
I don't watch a
The
lot of TV.
Expanse is fantastic. I'm actually really excited for the Amazon Prime season that's coming up. That's still got a couple of months on it, doesn't it? Was it December when it's coming out?
Could be. Could be.
I will say that I have never heard anyone say anything bad about The Expanse. That
Sure.
is my breadth of experience regarding The Expanse.
Have you brought any other people with you in your new horde? Or is it literally just the 4 of you? Technically, 3 of you have met up with Rad's alchemist on the way out of the horde. And are like, come join my new horde. And I guess Rad said yes.
Let me think of what ridiculous NPC I want Arthur to have to play.
I mean, are we talking like 1 person? Are we talking like 20 people?
Have you ever seen the movie
Hundreds?
or the series of movies with the what's it called? Ice Age. You seen that movie?
I have
Yeah,
seen
yeah.
Ice Age.
You haven't seen the following ones though.
I have.
Okay. I'm thinking of like Sid will know what I'm talking about with the grandmother sloth, voiced by like Wanda Sykes.
Oh, she's great.
I want a kooky old grandmother to join us on this.
Can it be my grandma?
Absolute. I mean, that's why we're here today.
What's your kooky old grandmother's name?
Wanda Sykes.
No.
What was that sloth's name anyway?
Sloth.
Sid. The sloth's name was Sid,
Yeah, the sloth's name was Sid.
and I think they maybe just called Grandma Sloth Granny. To be honest.
I think they
It was
did.
Granny. Yeah, it was just Granny.
I'm fine just keeping her called Granny. If anybody else calls her anything else, that's up to them.
Is there, you know what? I'm going to look up what the word grandmother is in Goblin Dictionary. I'm going to Tolkien the F out of this shit.
It's Gram.
I'm going to speak the tongue of Mordor on the show and summon forth the Dark Eye. So that's it. It's the 4 of you and Granny are forming a new horde.
That's my NPC ID. Anybody else can add whoever they want to the party.
I mean, I'm not saying we need to be talking about 1 or 2 people, right? Are we talking like 20, 100, 1,000? How big is this new breakaway horde?
I'd say about maybe 15 other people.
Okay. All right. So it's
Say,
not
like,
just
300 disenfranchised goblins and 1 half orc.
The goblin word for granny is granrit.
Yeah, I hit them where it hurts. I took their labor.
Yeah.
wow.
What's it?
Here's Pondo coming out here, starting with his 5-year plans, taking over the bourgeoisie and the proletariat.
We're going to
Seizing
found
the means of
Goblinoid Commonwealth.
Yeah, he sees the means of production. The laborers, the Socialist
common
Republic
man.
of Gobotopia. What kind of land do you for goblin or goblin adjacent half-orcs live in? Like where are you headed to, I suppose is the question. Where are you looking to settle down? Obviously, your horde has a very specific area that it collects taxes from via raiding, grows food, collects resources in like a more go to a town and say, hey, we want your ore, give us 10% of your ore or we'll burn the town down kind of deal. What kind of area are you going to? How geographically distant are your hordes? Are you heading to like a peaceful valley? Are you heading
would
to a
like-
desolate landscape that no
Here's
one
my
wants?
idea.
Yeah.
I feel like we're coming out of a arid environment and perhaps transitioning into like a coniferous forest, and we're going to be fleecing like lumber camps
I understand.
and
You've left
and,
Texas,
like, trappers and stuff.
and now you're headed to
I would
Colorado.
also like
Yes,
to do it in
like the
a-
Appalachian Mountains, perhaps.
You've left Texas and gone to West
Correct.
Virginia, I guess.
odd direction to go, but okay. Would also like try to figure out where amongst the way that is like the separation to their town's supply line, so I can hit that line before.
Okay, so you're not
not-
going that far. You're walking away. You're setting up camp somewhere nearby. You're setting up new lines of stuff,
Run
and then you're gonna be
skill.
like, now that we're established, I'm gonna go steal shit from my brother and my dad. You want to take their taxes? You want to take their?
probably want to go farther away.
You want to go farther away? Then you're
I would
going
say
on
we
like
go farther, but we go like along like a main trade route so that we can
Yeah.
cut off like business from our former horde. You know what I'm saying?
interesting,
That's what I'm
interesting.
saying.
So how do you deal with the guards on the trade route, right? Like you try to rob the trade route, someone shows up with mercenaries with crossbows. And... Have you
mean-
not? Is this your first time? Have you not even attempted?
Goblins are good at
Obviously,
making
we kill
traps.
them in their sleep. That's,
Ah, yes, of course. How did I not know this? Okay, so we're playing evil characters then. I just want to shoehorn us into this.
either that or we steal their goods when they're sleeping and they're not paying attention.
Okay.
Is
So
it evil to steal bread to feed your family, Arthur?
it is evil when you could go hunt in the forest, but you choose to murder people in their sleep
Is it
instead.
evil to murder people in their sleep to steal their bread to feed their?
Can we shoot
your
for
family?
chaotic neutral?
I don't think so. We've very solidly established. And this isn't going to be a traditional adventure. I can't tell you guys to
I
go.
don't think we're going to do the kill people in their sleep because I don't know how all goblins will pull that off.
Here's an idea. Can Pondo's character have stolen like something incredibly valuable from the original horde, and we're going to use it to like buy off the local militia or like establish like a legitimate charter or like buy actual territory?
Let me throw another one back at you.
Okay.
What if this isn't a major trade route? It's a minor trade route that's starting to pick back up. You know, a strike was just found in the Dwarven lands. You know, this particular place hasn't been exporting goods until recently. The trade route's just picking up. And there's an abandoned outpost, like a little stone. I wouldn't even call it a fortress. You know, stone, rotted wood. Whoever claims it has this beautiful location that looks out over the route, very defensible. But everyone who goes there to clear it out has died so far.
Okay.
The adventure then is you all have set up camp nearby so that you can send in the 4 of you to clear the place out and thus begin the reign of the horde. You
I'm
know,
good with this.
a bunch of people on parapets firing arrows down on traders and saying, this is our land now, we want to tax you. sounds a hell of a lot better than killing people in the middle of the night, taking all their
right.
shit.
We're
You know,
trying to
you
take
take
advantage of,
you
like,
take
squatter
this
law.
fortress. You're a legitimate business. You kill
Right.
people in the middle of the night. Someone is going to send crusaders after you to burn you.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. I feel like we've talked this out of a completely evil campaign. I do, however, like the idea that you have stolen something from the Horde that is quite powerful. And so, I don't know what magical items there are in Pathfinder yet, but I will surely allow the party to start with one. One magical item. And I don't know what it is yet, but I will tell you once I learn more about Pathfinder. And it will be quite
Totally
strong.
not skipping over to the page for all the magical items now.
Oh, I feel like you're doing that now that you said that.
Because I have the physical book in front of me, so I don't see why not.
Well, I mean, I have the PDF right in front of me, but you don't see me doing that because I don't know what page it is. So let me ask. I have some general descriptions. Obviously, Rad is a alchemist. What about the rest of you? What is your... Some would call it a class. Others would call it a lifestyle. Cotton's
I
like,
don't know what-
I'm a druid, but I'm actually a humble sheep farmer. My animal companion is a sheep. It isn't capable of attacking. Also, I'm a vowed pacifist, and I believe in talking my way out of every situation. Also, I'm a mute, so I communicate by blinking.
I had a sheep animal companion once, but it was a dire sheep and it ate people.
That was completely different from how I thought that conversation was going to go.
Well, because I asked if I could have a giant sheep, and they're like, have a dire sheep. And then they're like, by the way, dire sheeps eat people. And I was like, well, all right, that's fine.
So I don't know what you guys would like to play. I'm on the fence of doing either Ranger or Barbarian. I'm not sure which one yet. I was thinking about Champion, but I was like, I don't think I could pull off doing a good character in this sort of few shot thing.
What do you mean by a good character?
Well, you know, a good alignment character,
You don't think you could pull off being a good aligned character?
not a good aligned looting character. It'd be a little difficult.
I mean,
Unless I
it
just-
is difficult, but only because you're like,
Unless I
let's
went
go
with, like,
someplace else and enact extreme violence for money. Also, I want to kill my brother and overthrow him and steal
Yeah.
all of his stuff. You're right. That is very difficult to coexist with good aligned. Neutral, certainly.
Yeah, well, if you do a champion, you have to be either lawful good, neutral good, or chaotic good.
And that's rough for you, bud. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
going to be
so I was
tough.
like, yeah, it's not. That's going out the window.
Not going to happen. I've determined that the magic item you have stolen is a Wand of Manifold Missiles level 1,
Oh,
which means you can cast magic missiles from it.
those are always fun.
And apparently it just keeps casting magic missiles. After you cast it, it casts it for a whole minute, according to this.
So
Basically,
magic-
missile spam.
Is it like a one-time use thing?
Once per day.
That sounds interesting.
Basically, a whole minute of magic missiles coming out of this wand. Figure out which wise person you want to give this unlimited missile works to. That's the kind of item, you know, when you lose it, you really, really, really want it back.
Yeah, a magic missile Gatling gun.
So no champion. What else you got for me?
I don't know. It depends on what the other guys want to do.
Sid, I haven't heard much from you. You had a very strong political breakaway in your backstory. You want more goblin freedom? You want to chart your own course in life? What are you thinking?
For which aspect are we looking at right now?
Your class.
My class. Rogue.
Okay. Like how rogue, though?
Like the stabby kind of rogue.
All right. Okay. You know, that the rogue that everybody plays. You know there are other rogues, right?
Are there?
Yeah. You
Are
could be
they
a rogue
good?
that talks to people.
Why,
That's how
talks-
rogues used to be before bards existed.
No, see, I'm, nobody gets respect by talking. You gotta, break a few eggs if you want to make an omelet.
I mean, you could just buy, you know what? I'm just going to let that one. Playing a goblin rogue. Got it.
You have to remember also, I plan on him not being very intelligent. So
I understand. That should not be difficult.
I present to you in Battletech chat my character.
So you've. Why is there a bat hanging upside down from your staff?
That's his friend.
I love him.
By friend, do you mean familiar? Or do you literally
Right.
mean you have a bat?
No, I don't know. I haven't read yet, so I don't know if he'll be able to have a bat.
I think that familiars are pretty limited, but yeah.
That's fine.
I
could
will
just
allow you
check
to
it
have
out
a bat that
if
is
you
not a
want to.
familiar.
Yeah, it could just
that
be
poops.
a narrative bat, if you will.
I mean, it's a physical, real bat,
Right.
not narrative. It will poop regularly, just like real
He's
bats.
so cute.
My name is Batty. Why do you have a Nintendo Power Glove combined with the Infinity Stone?
Why wouldn't anyone have that?
Then allow me to double down. Why do you have Widowmaker's zoom in super sight?
What did I get that from? I don't remember where I got that from. It was not Overwatch, but I've ripped that off somewhere.
Just gonna call it Rad's Goblin. I'm gonna send it to chat here real quick. If you're watching live, you'll get a little piece of this. I feel like the second goblin on the right hand side has like a golf club on his back for no apparent reason.
Okay, what? I'm sorry?
Do you keep a little goblin baby in your what I will hesitantly call your Disney saddlebag?
Sorry, I have a lot of child aggro right now.
I'm aware. It's all right.
child aggro.
What
we can-
saddlebag are you talking about? He has a fanny
Your
pack.
front-facing fan. Yeah, the
His
Disney
fanny pack.
saddlebag. Your fanny pack.
No, that's where he keeps all his alchemist stuff.
Is that a wooden stick or is it a bent metal pipe?
Dealer's choice.
But
Let's go
you're
with
the
wooden
dealer.
stick. Let's
You're
go with
the-
the wooden stick.
Okay. What I
It looks
really
I
like is
tried to
how
put some
patched
wooden
together
texture on it.
your clothes are, and the fact that you don't have shoes, but you have very defined large toes.
Correct. That's key to character design. Big toes.
I agree.
It's got to be there.
The scarf is also a very nice touch. Scarf into a cape.
I'm always a big fan of the half cape. Although
Capelet.
this is more of a full cape, but that's okay.
I mean, based on his size, it would be very small to be a half cape.
It's true. It's true. I'll put it on. What I'll do, I'll load it up on Imager, and so I can put a link in chat. I guess.
I
so
already
people
put the
can see
link
what
in
we're
chat.
talking about.
I did it.
Oh, you already did it.
I'm good. I got it
Okay.
there.
Cool.
Cotton, I'm coming back around. Hopefully you've got something. Otherwise, I'm just going to bully you real quick.
I've got a bard.
All right. What kind of bard are we talking about? Freestyle?
She's a maestro bard who has left the horde because they don't appreciate her singing very much there.
So you're a singing type bard.
And these guys at least pretend to.
What kind of singing do you do?
I don't know. I think she's currently tries a new style each time she does it, trying to find her thing. My instinct was rap, but then I thought somebody might ask me to actually rap, and I don't think
I'm
I
gonna
can.
ask you to sing, so
Oh,
don't even worry about the rapping part.
well, that would be a mistake on your part.
No, let me tell you something.
Not a great singer.
When I learned about Dungeon World, I learned by watching JP's R&D sessions, and DJ Wheat, who I think is now basically in charge of Twitch, was on that show playing a woman named Lady Amsel, or maybe it was even his character before that, but they were a bard, and anytime he cast spells, he would do them in rhyme. And sometimes he would do them in multiple stanzas. We're talking like 8 to 10 lines. It was incredible. And Cotton, I expect you to reach that level. Apparently not. No, you're good.
Hello, hi.
It's all right. It's all right. You're a singing bard who's working on your stylistic choices. Very well. Several of you will need to pick backgrounds as well. And by several, I mean all of you will need to pick backgrounds. Which, just like 5e, alters your character by giving you new skills and new stats. So I don't know. I mean, I feel like Entertainer might be a solid pick for this Maestro Bard, but you're already a Bard, so... What can we say about Merchant? Noble? I mean, Noble sounds like it would be good for our good friend, the Half-Orc. Scholar for our Alchemist. There's no Politician.
What page is
Page 60 is the start of backgrounds.
60.
Charlatan for
One of my
Sid.
personal favorites.
Criminal. Emissary. Oh, Emissary is quite good. You also get to become multilingual. Or Sid, you could go really, really deep back to your roots and pick Barkeep. I don't know what that look is.
I could be a bartender.
I mean, you could have a background as a barkeep. Now that you've thrown off the shackles of the orcish elites, you know, you're a salt of the earth guy, and you, as part of this horde, need to keep a management on the alcohols. I mean, application of imbibement of spirits is very important to the morale of a new society.
Actually, is there an alchemist?
Yes, I'm an alchemist.
That is a class,
you're
not
in-
a background.
Yeah,
Is
you
it
can be an
an
alchemist too if you want.
There's herbalist.
Actually, yeah. I would like to be an alchemist.
All right, we have
who is a
two
bartender.
alchemists.
That sounds like a brilliant
All
idea.
right, he's an alchemist bartender. We have two. We have a rogue. We have no rogue. We have two alchemists, a bard, and whatever Pondo decides on.
Yeah, I'm still deciding.
He's like, I
I
really
am
want to
gonna
be
go
a
with the
champion, but I'm so busy overthrowing my brother.
I'm going to go with merchant.
That's your background?
Yes, because he's going to plan on making a legitimate business horde.
Yeah, he's an entrepreneur.
You can't establish a society on just looting alone. Eventually, those funds dry out. So you have to go.
Oh my god. You're literally like, you turn 16 and you go to your dad and you're like, look, Dad, I've been reading Nietzsche and Adam Smith. It's clear that this lifestyle is not going to work for us any longer. All right. The returns over the year. Have you seen this accounting? We're running in the red. All right.
My background will be tinkerer.
Ah, yes. Interesting. I don't know what that is, but that does sound like you. Creating all sorts of minor inventions. Wow, you get the specialty crafting feat. Okay. All right. I feel like you're the kind of person that takes HORD horde and turns it into HOARD horde. That might even be your campaign slogan. You know, you're like, we're not the Horde, we're the Horde, keeping everything you need safe.
I have a name here too. Where's the name?
Orville Poppin Locken Redenbacher.
Nope. His name is Cornelius Randalathon Undanathar the Ninth.
All right, I have a very specific question.
Jesus.
Why do you have a human name?
I think I don't know, but people call him Crud for short.
Ah, your name is Cred. All right, that's what I'm putting on the overlay. I'm not putting Cornelius Denethar.
I'll copy paste it for you. So you can
It's
spell
all
it
right.
correctly
It's
on
fine.
the
I'm
overlay.
not going to put Percival Frederickstein Musseldorf de Rollo III on an overlay.
No, I require that you do.
Well, if you want to have that happen, you're going to need to custom design an overlay.
I'm going to, yeah. Well,
Like,
my box is extra wide.
and
just
then you're going to
comment
have to
below.
put that name on the nameplate because I'm not going to put it in otherwise.
I just want you to animate it as it scrolls past, like a stock tracker.
I think I could do that, but I'm not going to. So, let me ask, Sid, as an alchemist, how did you learn, right? Obviously, our city alchemist here went to human, regular people town and took an apprenticeship. Is yours literally just dabbling in backroom black potions with your alcohol?
Yeah, always got to make up new concoctions because the customers demand. They always get the best stuff, so you have to learn how to make it, and you have to learn how to brew it and mix it,
And so
and
you've
come up
learned
with
how to make
recipes.
things that acidically etch people's faces off.
Mhm, mhm.
Okay. I feel like you're a very dangerous bartender. I don't really understand how you've learned to throw bombs at people on a regular basis, but there we go.
Alcohol is flammable.
I
Well, I
mean,
feel like learning how to concoct and make alcohol and different types of alcohol and stuff
Let's
like
be-
that, and then you're working in a bar and some seedy types come in and stuff, and they start asking questions like, "I could probably make that for you,"
He's
look,
perfected
and then
the
figure out how to do it.
he's
Here's the
perfected
thing about-
Molotov cocktail.
bombs, right? Molotov cocktail. Maybe you get a 5-foot square, right? It doesn't spread that far. And it's not like a bomb in Pathfinder. A bomb in Pathfinder takes out like a 10-foot radius. I don't know if it does it in Pathfinder 2e, but it's quite large. Bombs are very, very good. You don't get that many of them, though. Well, the good news is that if you guys play this right, you can get different formulas and then trade with each other. Copy each other's formula book. So, tell me about this trade route, this minor trade route that you're setting up on. Maybe it extends from a new dwarven strike, but where's the other end of it go? Where does this mysterious land lie? Who's receiving these goods?
I would say if it's a dwarven trade route, it would probably be the dwarves sending materials to, I would say, either themselves or to maybe other humans.
Can they be sending like brewery supplies? Like, can we be setting ourselves up as like a major brewing hub based off of Sid's character's like expertise?
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, that could be the thing. This could be a
As a
dwarven.
goblin, I can make a mighty fine dwarven ale.
We're trying to establish our own craft beer empire.
Right. Let me break down how societies advance in general. Large cities will send out a very small village to take over a new resource that it finds, an ore strike or nice wood, and then that village will be responsible for sending that back to the town for it to use. They'll get a measure of security, trade will flow. It would make sense to me that this is a new dwarven offshoot colony. It's like a dozen dwarves. They, leave a couple guys behind to guard the dwarf area, and then they bring all their stuff past this area. It's very dangerous for them. They're always, losing people. They have to get more people. And the trade that's coming back in the other direction is food, beer, unlimited amounts of alcohol. And what you guys are doing, you're like looking at it, all these alchemists, and you're like, we need to set up IPA. Yep. We're going to invent the pumpkin spice of beers right here. We're going to get all the thirsty dwarves. You're going to take over this fortress and turn it into a beer hall. I like it.
We want so many adventures start in like the hub, you know what I mean, like the tavern.
Yes,
we are trying to create.
Yes, you're making the tavern.
Hub.
We're making the tavern for everybody else to start.
That's right. In this campaign, we're going to establish what will become the future starting point of any Pathfinder 2e game you decide to run on your show.
I don't know if you watch Door Monster videos, but they did one where they played adventurers who had killed the tavern owners, took it over, and then would continuously send people to go kill a dragon. And their plan was wait until someone actually kills and loots the dragon, and then kill them in their sleep in the inn. And so the dungeon master's like, all right, 2 weeks pass and they don't return. What do you want to do now? I feel like that could be you guys.
Yeah. I mean, we're good. We live in a tavern. We can just wait for more adventurers to show up and try and do it.
They literally come to us.
All right. So let me ask, should you be successful, what name does your war band of roughly 20 people bear? Right? What are you going to name this tavern fortress? Tavern outpost.
Outpost is a good word for it, I feel like.
I mean, is it going to be called Pondo's character, insert name here, Drinking Horde Hall? Is it going to be called The Valhalla of Pathfinder 2e? What are we looking for?
We're going to call it Pathfound.
The name of the tavern is Adventure Starts Here.
Adventure is out there.
Pondo's thinking. This is the best part. He's deeply thinking about it. By the way, I don't know if you heard, people at home, but Cotton tricked Pondo into making a pun and it destroyed him. It was so funny.
That did happen.
I still don't have a class for you, Pondo.
I'm gonna go with Ranger.
All right, Ranger. Half-orc Ranger. You're like the Aragorn of the orcs. Orcagorn.
Nice. Nailed it.
Cornelius Randalian Undanathar the Ninth. Now let me ask, are those parentheses silent? Or sorry, are the apostrophes silent?
Yes. No, you have to pronounce apostrophe when you get to it.
Well, you know.
No, I know what you mean.
Technically, it was a Critical Role joke, but you haven't watched the latest episode.
No, I'm like 20 minutes in.
The C team made a very similar joke, but that's in season 3.
Yeah,
so. They were like, his name is Alex. And they're like, how do you spell that? KRJ apostrophe. The apostrophe silent.
Yeah. Yeah. Not nearly enough consonants.
Friends, I feel like we have a pretty good setup here. Let's talk brass tacks. Let's get these characters on paper.
Okay.
I'm using an app currently to do all that work for me.
What app is that so that you can share it with the class?
In the Play Store, it's called Pathfinder 2e.
Okay. Now we do the very boring thing where everybody's suddenly very busy downloading an app and assembling their characters. In the meantime, instead of being funny, I will do what I normally do, which is not be funny.
I'm gonna try and do the Roll20 one, I think.
This is just easier because I can.
Oh, does it have drop downs? I think I would rather I do drop down.
It does have drop. It has everything on there.
Okay.
Would you say that it's the D&D Beyond of
You still have to put it into the Roll20, but at least this has everything. So
You have the final stats ready to go.
Pathfinder 2E what?
almost
That's just what it's called, Pathfinder 2e.
Pathfinder 2e, probably character creation. It's in the Play Store. It's probably if you're using a Mac or an iPhone in the Apple Store.
Is
I
it
don't know who
Path
would own
Builder
that.
2E?
Might be.
Yeah, that's what I found.
That might be it.
Well, let's see what we've got here. I'm totally not installing a game-related thing on my phone. At all.
My God, this is
Let's
what it
see.
took to get Sid Alpha to use his phone.
I mean, it'll get uninstalled immediately as soon as I'm done using it. But
Let me tell you something. I've been using my phone constantly. Yes, this is session 0 of a 2-episode arc, friend. And then we're going back to playing Battletech after that.
Yeah.
This is just our break between seasons so that I can plan out how to doom everyone next season.
That sounds correct.
Dude.
session 0, yeah. Why is my download going so slow? I blame Arthur.
I know, same.
That's reasonable. I feel like I'm a very easy person to blame, so...
Well, this will be interesting to see what happens once it finally reaches 100%.
Create a new character.
I expect it'll work when it reaches 100%, but...
Here, since it's just quiet, I'll read aloud to people.
Ever since I was a little boy...
Alchemist, there's no sight more beautiful to you than a strange brew bubbling in a beaker, and you consume your ingenious elixirs with abandon. You're fascinated by uncovering the secrets of science and the natural world, and you're constantly experimenting in your lab or on the go with inventive concoctions for every eventuality. You are fearless in the face of risk, hurling explosive or toxic creations at your foes. Your unique path towards greatness is lined with alchemical brews that push your mind and body to their limits.
No shit. Do you get an alchemical feat at first level?
Yeah.
Feats are like a huge thing in 2E from what I see.
Well, guess what?
Constantly, all the time for everything.
You can get a familiar. It's true. Look, man, I'm just saying. There are other things you could do, like bombing faster or being smarter, or you could have a familiar.
See, an alchemist. Key ability. Oh shit! I was gonna make a stupid character, but the key ability is intelligence.
Could have been
Look,
a dumb rogue.
Sid, let me tell you something. All right, I've seen plenty of people. I went to engineering school and I graduated from it, so let's be super clear. You can have a high intelligence score and still be a fucking moron.
Well, that's true. Background barkeep. It already filled it out for me. Look at that. Ability boosts.
What I can't find is what kind of damage a bomb does here. I don't know.
Want to make the most
Oh, they're
non-optimized
formulas.
I can think of.
Sorry, what are you making?
Most unoptimized.
Why would you do that?
Multilingual. Because I need to know the languages for. Well, obviously. To be able to talk to the other races.
Okay, I just want to be clear. You're saying unoptimized, but what you really mean is that your character has diverse interests that relate to your backstory and your stated story mission goal. You're not literally just like, I'm just going to pick this just because.
So let me ask you,
I
Pondo.
dumped my strength down to 8, and I'm a melee fighter.
I'm doing my apps, and I'm doing my stats in the app, and I get to where it wants me to assign all of my boosts. And down at the
Yes, you
bottom,
do.
I have 4 points to assign wherever I want? Does it sound right?
After, yes, at the very end, you'll get 4 different boosts, which will bump 4 different stats to by 2 each.
And you
You
4
get,
stats. By
you typically get your boosts from your race, which are 2 particular stats, and they're free, and then there's a flaw. And then you'll get a mandatory boost from your background and the free boost. And then your class gives you, I think, another boost
Yes, sir.
in the main stat. So for Alchemist, I think it's intelligence,
Yes, sir.
something else. And at the very end, you get 4 free boosts.
But I can only put 1 in each stat.
Yes.
Okay.
And the boosts are 2 each.
Oh, they are. Okay.
Yeah. They don't typically go in between the odds very often.
I see. I like that.
And you can only go up to 18 when you're in character creation.
That's pretty typical, though.
I like
So with all these boosts, it makes doing rolls for this can be potentially overpowering, because the only thing you lose if you do the variant rolling thing is that you lose your free ability boost from your race and your free ability boost from your...
No, let's not do rolling.
Yeah, I know.
No.
I'm just saying.
Interesting. No, I am interested in your
Yeah, you lose your free from your race and then your background.
When you
Oh, man, I
you
get to
do
pick what
rolling, that's how
kind
you
of
get
goblin?
that guy that has 3 20s.
So listen, I could be a charhide goblin, an
Well,
iron gut goblin,
Yeah.
a razor tooth goblin, a snow goblin, or an unbreakable goblin.
I picked a race tooth goblin so I can have little fangs.
Felt like Iron Gut would match Sid pretty well, just based on the name.
Yeah, that's actually what I was going with.
I'm
Iron
thinking-
Gut lets you eat anything without getting as many penalties, like gross things.
You're just gonna eat gross stuff the whole
A
time.
little bit like the idea of just being used to being on fire all of the time. That makes sense.
I don't
Choosing
know.
Alchemical savant.
Let me
from
throw you on
Pathfinder.
this, Rad. I think that you could be a snow goblin and just be like this militant super goblin specialist ambusher who lives in the mountains. You've come back after completing your mandatory military training in Switzerland. You're back and you're
Have
just
little
like
skis.
cold means nothing to me.
Oh yeah.
So-
Unbreakable.
How many spells do you get a day?
I don't know. I'm not that far along yet.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure this out. It says that you get 2 different bomb formulas at level 1.
Okay,
Some
I'm
boosts
gonna-
have the
But how
spell
many of them
slots
can
like
you
that.
throw?
I mean,
I'm
some
going to
classes-
choose to be an unbreakable goblin, and this
Okay.
is only because it screams classic Pathfinder to me. If you remember, you could get the goblin feats that would make you have like rubbery bones or like
Yes.
a bouncy head or like all of those things. So
Yeah.
I'm going to do unbreakable because it's cool.
I don't think alchemists have spell slots.
They just throw bombs constantly.
Yes.
Sounds great.
That's terrifying
The
to me.
classes that have spell slots will have a chart next to them,
Okay.
I believe.
All right, talk to me about hero points. What do
Hero
they do
points
and how
is
do you use them?
essentially it gives you a reroll
Okay,
once per session, maybe more if the DM gives it out.
that doesn't sound like me.
So just once per session, you can roll a d20.
Okay,
Reroll
so
a
there's
D20.
aside from the ability boosts, there's no other modification to your stats to start with. I'm guessing.
Your background in your class and your
Yeah, your
race.
background and class will each give you an
Okay, so
ability
there's
boost.
there's no point spend or anything like
Nope.
that.
Nope, it's just the boosts.
Okay,
Balancing which
I
boost.
gotcha.
You can also not put them into the same thing, but the app does that for you.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I think I have all the basics and stuff to start filling out my character sheet then.
I think I am going to do the familiar.
My name is Batty.
My ancestry feat. Hey, there's a goblin ancestry feat that's called Goblin Song. You sing annoying goblin songs,
I took that one.
distracting your foes with silly repetitive lyrics.
Sounds like the perfect goblin bard thing.
Yeah.
How does steps work in this, Pondo? Like the 5-foot step and all that? Is that still a thing in Pathfinder?
God, I hope not.
You mean like as far as opportunity of attacks?
What was it in
Like-
Pathfinder? You could take
It
a
was,
5-foot
you could take
step.
a 5-foot step without provoking an AOO if that was the
there's
only
really
movement
no
you did.
attacks opportunities in this.
Because I'm looking at Goblin Scuttle, and it says an ally ends a move action adjacent to you. You take advantage of your ally's movement to adjust your position. You step.
That's probably free movement because there's really not very often that you find something else with attack of opportunity because they pretty much took that out.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
I think one of the only classes that have it, like mainly, is fighters. Because they're wanting to make it faster in that regard. Because attack opportunities would slow things down. Because you wouldn't want to go into it, or you want to move out of it.
You know, let me ask. We've determined kind of where we're playing in and what we're doing, but what genre is this game? Is this a comedy? Is this a tragedy? Is this a horror? Like, are
How
you
can it
going
not be
down?
a comedy? That's my question.
I mean, look, you
Sounds-
can have comedies that are also tragedies. It's a very Greek thing to have tragic comedies. I'm just asking generally. Should I be talking about walls made of flesh that pulsate as if blood is still flowing through them when you go exploring down here? Or is this going to be like...
I could just say it in a funny way.
Or is this more like in the Lord of the Rings Hobbit prequels, where they're fighting all the goblins underneath the mountain and everybody's just running around flailing their arms, and everywhere they go they fall down one thing and land in another, and everybody's like, oh no, whoa, 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 whoa.
So I'm going to take, the second one. I'm going to take Rough Rider. So I'm also going to have a wolf mount. I'll start collecting as many animals as I can as I go through these feats.
Are you sure you're not the villain of this story?
Well, I think I'm also going to lean heavily into the mutagen aspect of alchemy.
You're
so
like, I'm also, I sleep in a casket. I sleep like this. I rise out of it, and I hunger for the blood of the living, but it's professional. I just need it for my potions.
That's how I travel. I have an adorable wolf that just drags a casket on the ground everywhere it goes. And then when we get there, I rise up out of it with a bat hanging from a stick that I hold. Raw!
I feel like
Research
for
field.
sure this is the first level story of a goblin war master 20 levels down the line.
They're like, man, you went to college, you came back all weird and shit.
You know, that was just a Reddit topic where people were like, people who went to school with kids that thought they were vampires or thought they had secret magic powers or were wolfkin, what happened? And almost all of them were like, yeah, 90% of the kids in my school did that at some point, and then we just forgot about it after it ended. We just pretended like it never happened. I feel like that's probably a good thing, you know?
Yeah. All right, mutagenist. You focus on bizarre mutagenic transformations that sacrifice one aspect of a creature's physical or physiological being in order to strengthen another. You start with formulas for 2 first-level mutagens in your formula book, in addition to your other formulas. Oh, you can gain the benefit of any mutagen, even if it wasn't specifically brewed for you. Whenever your proficiency rank or similar weapons increases, your proficiency rank for unarmed combat increases to the same rank, unless it's already better. I don't understand what that means, but okay. This is what I'm doing.
Very well.
What is that?
I'm going to be a mutagenologist.
Is that
That's my research field.
Basically, he's just like, oh no, my hand turned into a super strong claw, but also I'm dumb now.
It's like some Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde shit.
Yes.
I chose bomber.
I thought you would.
Sid's like, did someone say alchemist fire?
What was the other one? Oh, the other one is I don't know how to say it. CHIRUR.
Chirurgeon.
Chirurgeon.
Yeah, chirurgeon.
Oh, healing others. I did consider that. I thought about
Yeah.
taking the field medic background and taking the healing one.
Chirurgeon is like when people are.
First level alchemical bombs. Nice.
Chirurgeon is when someone is like, oh no, I'm sick. And they're like, okay, we're just going to have to cut the whole arm off.
Nice.
It's the medieval version of a medic.
I'm going to stick with the mutagenist for this one. But I did tinker with being the party healer for a second.
Wow, I have to tell you, I am not in love with the dice rolling system of 2E. This giant fucking... Ugh, the text looks horrible to me.
Yeah, it does look pretty ugly.
It's
Not a fan.
work in progress. All right.
What are you guys talking about?
On the
I'm
roll 20.
surprised you didn't
In
go
roll 20,
with,
I
like-
accidentally hit roll instead of modify for
Oh, yeah.
ability scores.
Good
Yeah,
luck.
the character sheet layout in roll 20 is kind of odd. I'm having a hard time figuring it out based on the app in the phone.
It at least helps.
Okay, so I can make alchemy stuff. I have to read that Dark Vision formula book. You start with a standard formula book worth 10 silver pieces or less for free. The formula book contains the formulas for 2 common first level alchemical items of your choice, in addition to those gained from the alchemical crafting and your research field.
Mhm.
The catalog of alchemical items begins on page 543.
Yep. Acid flask, alchemist fire, frost vial, bottled lightning, tanglefoot bag, thunders. It's all the old alchemical stuff.
Okay. Cool. There's some cool stuff in there.
Yep. So I just want to check in with everybody else. I mean, we heard from Red. He would like this to be a comedy. I just want to make sure that, everybody, not necessarily that we would remove the comedy, but if there was another genre that you want mixed into it, we could turn this into a rom-com if that's what you guys are down with, I'm just going to call him Tusktooth. That's Pano's character. Maybe he goes down there and he just finds this, half elf and they just can't get along the whole time. And gosh darn it, we've all got to work together, but at some point, they find out they have more in common than they thought.
I don't know about that rom-com thing.
Okay. I don't think I've ever done a rom-com genre TTRPG, except maybe Made RPG. And
That would probably
I
be
never make it rom-com. I just make it com. Everybody else brings the rom.
Yeah.
Nobody else? Nothing? No interests beyond having a comedic goblin horde looting, which is perfectly fine. I just wanted to make sure that no one was like, I would like it if it was an epic adventure.
I mean, it can,
I would like it if they're, ghosts. I want this to be a haunted ass mansion type deal.
I'm cool with ghosts.
Yeah, but I could say anything at this point. I could just be like, you know what? It's full of zombies. The undead haunt this, and you'd be like, I'd be down with zombies.
Yeah, sweet. I mean, we could get kind of like Hobbit-esque, like action adventure-y. That's always a touchstone for me when it comes to like lighthearted
Super
adventuring.
Sentai goblins. You guys are the Power Rangers of goblins. Flask red! And then Sid shows up and he's like, Flask blue! They both throw their bombs and they intermingle with a blue and red smoke. We are the Super Bomber Twins. They look the same. You offer them ice cream, both of them say yes. How in the hell? Did Did you get that reference, Pondo?
Now,
No.
where the heck do we put our the items that we have for formula books in this character sheet?
Under inventory, probably.
Your name
Maybe
actually going to
spells?
be Brad?
No,
Okay.
this is placeholder.
Well, because it's not items; it's stuff that we can.
I'll
make.
put it in spells.
I would guess, yeah, spells maybe.
Okay, add formula. Did you already do this part, Sid? I guess stuff with ones next to it is what's available to me as a level 1.
Add formula in the app
Mm-hmm.
under build.
No, not under build. You swipe on that header, and there's spells, and then you go to add formula.
Oh, there's more. Gotcha.
So I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to do Tanglefoot bag. And bottled lightning. How many can I know?
2.
2? I can only know 2? Okay.
At the start. Yeah, that's what.
I'll do silver tongue mutagen.
Wait, where do you see that? I didn't see that.
That's not under bombs. That's.
Oh,
You have a lot of stuff to do, Rad.
I fucked up. I was under bombs.
You haven't fucked up yet.
I got to get off of bombs. Get rid of these bombs, goddammit.
Don't get rid of the bombs. Keep the bombs. There's no reason to get. You're gonna use those bombs.
I can have 2 bombs and 2.
Look, base.
You get
Alchemists always start with 2 bombs.
I mean,
You
base
sure?
alchemists get two alchemical items from the books, and then
Yes.
whatever our
You get 2
our
bomb
specific
formulas.
professions are. Like I'm a bomber, so I get 2 bombs on top of.
Oh, so you get 2 more bombs. Got it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, then let me make sure I'm selecting the right things here.
Yeah, it just under. Oh yeah, research field. Bombers get 2 additional. Mutagenist. You get 2 mutagens.
Okay.
All right. So what do you got, Sid? What bombs do you have? What mutagens do you have?
So far, I just have the silver tongue mutagen lesser.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna have to look this up on 547. I'm thinking the cognitive mutagen.
Okay. Do you have any bombs, or are you just gonna swap bombs with your good
For
friend
the
Bomberman?
bombs, I was going to take, of course, the alchemist fire.
Yeah.
And the acid flask.
Okay.
Let's see what it's. I need to make sure that cognitive does what I think it
I mean,
does.
you guys could get poisons. You guys can get all kinds of weird shit. You goddamn alchemists.
Oh yeah, cognitive mutagen, definitely.
Cotton, do we have a name for your goblin maestro bard stir? Bardrick Bardixson.
Blink.
Oh, right. No other name, though, right? Just Blink.
No, it's just Blink.
Fine. Pondo, you're the only one that doesn't have a name. And if you don't have one by the end of the session, no matter what you tell me, it's going to be Brad on the overlay. So make sure you pick that name. Tusk Tooth is acceptable.
Why is Pathfinder Druid so much cooler than 5e Druid?
That's because Pathfinder loves druids and always makes them more powerful than all the other classes.
I know.
Yeah.
Druids and clerics and Pathfinder are always the most powerful.
No,
shit.
5e
No,
clerics
no,
are
no.
incredibly powerful compared to fucking
Did you look
Jesus
at Pathfinder
Christ.
2e cleric?
No, I'm saying in the original Pathfinder clerics.
They were not that
Six.
strong. They were
amazing.
heal bots. 5e clerics are incredibly powerful warriors.
They are even more powerful. That's true.
Yes. Pathfinder clerics are not strong. They're the definition of average.
I guess maybe I was thinking of wizards.
The
Wizards
only
and
reason
druids.
I would pick cleric as a class is if I was going Mystic Thurge.
The only way I'd pick cleric if I was doing some kind of like frontline healer, because all the other healing classes in Pathfinder.
Well,
are
that's what
healing.
That's what clerics were originally intended to be. They have medium armor, they can hold shields and maces, they can cast without using their hands. They're supposed to be the tank, but people play them as if they're some sort of frail grandmother that hides in the back and then runs up and just like taps somebody and he's like, okay, stand back up now, and then runs away again. It's weird. It's so weird. People play Pathfinder clerics in insane ways.
We had a cleric once that was pretty cool because he had the Misty Step, so he'd like pop around on the battlefield and like bring the enemies to the fighter and stuff like that with it. It was cool.
So, can you guys learn each other's formulas? I thought you could, but it doesn't look like you can.
That would be interesting.
Yeah, you can't. You have to pick it on level up. It's not like with wizards where you can write down other people's stuff. And I don't even know if that works in Pathfinder 2e. I just know it works in original Pathfinder and D&D and pretty much all wizards everywhere.
It says right here, you learn formulas automatically, but it's also possible to find or buy additional formulas in settlements or from other alchemists, or to invent them with the inventor feat.
How much does it cost to inscribe them into your book, though?
Don't know. But what I read is on page 73.
Got it.
Under formula book.
Half the price of the formula up front. Okay. Interesting. I don't know how much a formula costs, but that's how much it takes to bust it over into a new one. All right, friends. Let me throw this at you. We're way past break time, and we're actually way farther than I thought we would be. Who knew that making characters would take so long? Although we did have a lot of pre-discussions. Can I trust you guys, if I turn the stream off now, to finish your characters before next Thursday?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. The second thing I have to ask you is, can I trust anyone who isn't Rad to pass their character description along to Cotton so that she can make the character tokens, and then we can all have character tokens for the 2-week session thing? That means you need to have an idea what you look like. Wow, Sid, you look like you're thinking.
I don't even know what goblins are supposed to look like in Pathfinder 2nd Edition. So.
You know, did you know that on page 32 there is a picture of a goblin?
Or you can just make it up because it's artistic
It's not on page
freedom.
32. It's on page Goblin, which is after page 32. The Goblin page is... I'm going to keep talking until I get there. You know. Page 46, obviously, is what I meant to say when I said 32.
That looks pretty cool.
There's another goblin on page 49 if you would like, you know, something a little different. There's all sorts of goblins, Sid. You just tell Cotton what you want and she will make it happen, probably. I'm putting some faith in Cotton here, but I feel like she can deliver.
I really want Sid's goblin to be portly.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That has to be a thing.
Why, though?
He's an
Why?
iron gut goblin after all.
Yeah.
I don't understand it.
I want him to be
I mean,
shaped
that's
like a mini
friggin'
keg.
that design there actually is friggin' perfect. Stand there munching on a friggin' pickle, carrying around a pot full of soup or whatever the hell it is.
All right, friends. Can we then dismiss this conclave with the assumption that you will in fact finish your homework?
Yes.
Yes.
Honda's disappeared. I assume that he's eating something.
Yes. No, I'm looking at the book.
Very well.
I'm looking at equipment.
Cotton, are you in agreement? Let's start outros. We are going to end as we began with Ratosaurus.
Hey, I'm Ratosaurus. I was here tonight and we did stuff.
You were present, yes. I hope you feel better about the events of season 3 now. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I would
okay.
say I do.
All right.
This is going to take time.
I don't feel that you do, but yes, it does take time to heal.
It's going to take time. It's going to take time. I'll be fine though. Everything's fine. My camera just got blurry for some reason.
That's because you put your face super close to it. That's fine.
Ooh, all right. Yeah, I had a good time. I'm liking this so far. I don't know yet if Pathfinder 2nd Edition will ever be something that I play a lot of. But there's a lot about Pathfinder that I really enjoy. And it's for those reasons that I would even consider going through the effort and energy of learning anything about Pathfinder 2, because I will always ooh and awe over certain things when it comes to Pathfinder. I think their fiction is vastly superior to any other fantasy game's fiction. Their lore and world is amazing. I love the way they I love the art that, and just in general, in all the Pathfinder books art, I always prefer the style largely versus anything that Wizards of the Coast has put out. Not that they have bad art, but I really like the Pathfinder style. And I like, sometimes you want a little more crunch in your game. And Pathfinder does that. Sometimes in good ways, sometimes in not as good ways. But I am liking this so far. So far, I like what I see.
Let me ask a question. Wow, what the hell happened to the world map? Jesus. Why is Cheliax taking over half of the world? What year is this set in? I don't know. Let me throw this at you. Are we setting this in Galarian then?
I would think so.
Okay. All right.
Unless anybody feels strongly against.
No, I'm fine with that.
Cotton, let's do some outros.
Hi, I'm Cotton. I doodle and stuff. You can find me on my Twitter, or you can find me on AP's Discord. I'm usually hanging around. And if you wanted to join that Pokemon Discord, just give Pondo and I a shout, and we'll send it to you. That's all I got.
Okay. I think I might set this game somewhere near Isger and the Five King Mountains, because it's right where some dwarf drama is. It's right where some goblin drama is. That's my recollection. I may not be as up on the Pathfinder lore anymore, but speaking of someone who encyclopedically stores lore, unless it involves pronouns, specifically people's names, let's talk to Pondo.
Hi, I'm Pondo, or Pondo the Mad. You can catch me on YouTube or Twitch/Pondo the Mad, or you can catch me here on Saturday nights playing Warhammer 40K with Sid, James, and Atomic, or you can catch me on whenever AP goes on vacation playing Pokemon, which I believe will be in November.
Yep, we're all going on vacation at the same time in November,
which is hilarious.
Wait, I'm going on vacation in November?
No, the
Oh, shit, yes.
not you.
Right on.
You got anything else, Pondo, when you're not on vacation?
Nah, that's about it.
Okay. All right, Sid.
Yeah, everyone, thanks for coming out. I appreciate it. This is going to be interesting. A tiny little goblin alchemist who likes throwing bombs at people and crafting brews. Will be interesting. Yeah, don't forget to check me out on my YouTube channel. I've got there won't be any video tonight, obviously, but I do plan on getting back to videos this weekend, and I also have the weekly news roundup video on Exclusively Games YouTube channel called Line of Sight that you should be able to expect on Monday, and then we'll also be we are back this weekend or not for Warhammer.
We're back, as far as I know.
Yes, we are back for more Warhammer 40K.
Sounds good to me.
This Saturday, with me and Arthur and Pondo and Atomic and James, which that's going to be a lot of fun.
I mean,
oh, that's right. We're stepping into a fight there, aren't we? And so
half of you are, the other half are not.
The other half is going to have to.
That's
knock down
fine
the
because
target.
I have multiple weapons that I can use on full auto, so everything will be fine.
As you know, you need to use as many of your weapons as possible, as early as possible with all of your reloads, and not reserve anything.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Because you'll never be in 2 fights.
Yep.
All right. Just as long as we're on the same page.
And you know, if that fails, I've also got the chainsword. So there's that.
That is the most Warhammer thing possible. You're like, well, if all of my extremely expensive guns fail, at least I have a chainsaw that is a sword.
Yep. And I've also got the big chopper.
I don't even know.
Why not?
Yeah, why not? That's it, friends. That's it for us here. Next week and the week after, we'll be back with goblins. Maybe there might be problems. Who knows? The next 2 episodes, I should say, will be goblins. There you go. That's a better way to say it, friends. We be goblins, is what I shall say. We be goblins. Sunday, maybe we'll have Game of Thrones. Maybe we won't. Who knows? I haven't heard back from VSC since he said he couldn't show up last weekend. So, what can you do? Fire noises, switch, and card. We're out.